Chapter 51. After the match against Borussia, Schalke 04 also ushered in their first Champions League group match. Home game against Portuguese supergiants Porto. Previously, when the group stage was drawn, Schalke 04 was assigned to Group D. In the same group, Porto, the champion of the Portuguese Super League last season, Galatasaray and Lokomotiv Moscow of the Turkish Super League. The strength of this group is not strong, except for the number 1 seed Porto. The other teams are not considered strong opponents, so Schalke 04 still has a lot of hope to qualify. September 17, Schalke 04 and Porto have announced the squad for the match. It was originally a trivial matter, but Schalke fans soon realized that something was wrong. Why isn't Lin Chen in the big list? This discovery suddenly made all Schalke fans unable to sit still. The team's top scorer was not selected for the squad? Is Tedesco out of his mind? Dissatisfied Schalke fans ran to the team's official blog to ask why the club didn't have Lin Chen in the squad. Schalke 04 obviously anticipated the reaction of the fans and immediately issued an announcement. Since Lin Chen joined the team late on loan, he didn't come and register. This statement was also communicated by Tedesco and the club. After all, compared to telling fans that Lin Chen is more willing to register for the Champions League in Real Madrid, the inner damage to the fans is negligible. At best it is a pity. Schalke fans feel that it is a pity. With Lin Chen's ability, he can definitely help the team go further in the Champions League. September 18. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Schalke 04's first Champions League game officially began. Facing Porto, the champion of the Portuguese Super League last season and the strongest in the group stage, Tedesco was not intimidated by the opponent's name. Advertisement: this game is still a 3-back formation, placing most of the players in the midfield, hoping to strangle Porto in the midfield. Although Lin Chen's appearance was missing, Tedesco did not let Burgstaller serve as the starting centre forward, but chose the teenager Embolo from Monaco as the single arrow. For Porto, the former Serie A meritorious Bishop Conseco also made some adjustments, forming a 442 formation. In order not to cause commotion among the fans, Lin Chen did not choose to go to the scene of the game, but chose to stay in the base to watch the live broadcast. The final result of the competition did not exceed Lin Chen's expectations. Embolo, who started the game, did not live up to the expectations of coach Tedesco. In the 64th minute, after receiving a pass from McKennie, Embolo pierced through the gate guarded by Casillas. Then Tedesco made substitution adjustments, hoping to keep the 1-0 situation. But in the 75th minute, Otavio's goal also failed to make Tedesco's plan come true. In the end, Schalke drew 1-1 with visiting Porto. After the game, the German media have expressed regret for the result of this game. Although Lin Chen did not appear on the stage, there were many mentions of Lin Chen by the media. Many people think that if Lin Chen can play, Porto may not be so lucky to take a point from the Velten Stadium. Schalke's local media also looked forward to how far the team can go in the future, but most of them think that there is no problem with Schalke qualifying for the group. If they want to go further, it may not be possible. Fans can't help but recall the scene when Neuer was still in Schalke 04. In the 07-08 season, Neuer played 50 times for Schalke and played every minute of the 34 rounds of the Bundesliga, helping Schalke rank third in the Bundesliga. After that, the team advanced to the quarter-finals of the Champions League. In the 1/8 finals, he also met Porto, but this game can be called Neuer's Battle of Fame. Neuer saved consecutive goals from Bruno Alves and Lisandro Lopez in the penalty shootout to help the team advance to the quarter-finals. Advertisement: although the team lost to the star-studded Barcelona in the quarter-finals, the fans are still very satisfied with the team's performance. So Schalke fans very much hope that there will be a player like Neuer who can lead the team further in the Champions League on his own. But at this time, Lin Chen, who was highly anticipated by everyone, failed to register for the game, which disappointed many Schalke fans. September 21, when everyone was still immersed in the UEFA Champions League group stage, Schalke 04's fourth round of the Bundesliga match has arrived. Schalke 04 will face Werder Bremen at home. This small team, which has been playing in the Bundesliga for many years, also has some good results. Interestingly though, the Parrots lose their best player almost every summer. This is true for Gnabry last summer, Westergaard the summer before, or De Santo who moved to Schalke 04 3 years ago. This year is no exception. The Danish international Delaney switched to Dortmund before the World Cup. What is impressive is that Bremen changed their previous cautiousness in the transfer market and invested €24 million in signings during the summer window this year. Directly bought the Dutch international Klaassen, who joined as the team history king. September 22, the day before the competition. The rosters of both sides are released. Lin Chen, who has not played for a long time, also appeared in the starting list. P.S. Anyone else? Tat, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data. Chapter 52. 5:30 in the afternoon on the 22nd. Bundesliga 4th round. Schalke 04 played against Werder Bremen at home. The moment Lin Chen stepped out of the tunnel. In the Velten Stadium, tens of thousands of Schalke fans suddenly burst into violent shouts. Lin Chen! Lin Chen! Stay! Stay! Perhaps after experiencing a game without Lin Chen, the fans cherish the time when the team has Lin Chen even more. It's a pity that Lin Chen was only on loan to Schalke 04 for a short period of time and could not stay at the Velten Stadium for a long time. Naturally, Schalke fans didn't want to see Lin Chen leave, and begged Lin Chen to stay in Schalke 04 in the simplest way. Huguo, the broadcast studio of Sports 5. Seeing this, Shen Jian couldn't help but reveal his true feelings. It's hard to imagine that this is a courtesy received by a Huxia player in the European arena. Although Schalke 04 is not some super wealthy club, it is very rare for fans to love a player so much. In the Velten Stadium, Lin Chen, who just walked out of the player tunnel, was also a little surprised by the reaction of the fans. But for the request to stay, this is not something that Lin Chen can decide alone. Lin Chen can only dedicate better performance to Schalke fans as much as possible, and use it to repay the enthusiasm of the fans. As the players on both sides stood still, the game began. Tedesco is still in the 3421 formation, with Lin Chen as the center forward. Werder Bremen ranked 433, led by Cruz. As soon as the game started, Schalke launched an attack on Werder Bremen. When the 13th minute, the Bremen midfielder Sahin was a little overwhelmed. Facing the Schalke defenders pressing, he didn't pass the ball out immediately, but wanted to take advantage of the trend to pass Naldo. But Schalke's defender position is also very good, Sahin failed to do so, and Naldo successfully intercepted the ball. After seeing that their side had won the ball, Schalke 04 also quickly launched a counterattack, and Lin Chen and Mark Utsi moved forward. Naldo did not choose to hand the ball to the midfielder McNee, but made a long pass directly. The ball passed the Werder Bremen midfielder and flew more than 30 meters before landing on the grass. Advertisement at this time, Lin Chen had completely let go of his speed and ran towards the ball. At the same time, Bremen's left back Augustin was also trying his best to catch up with the ball. But Lin Chen's speed was beyond the reach of Augustin. When he just started, Lin Chen ran past Augustin like a gust of wind. Fans all around the stadium exclaimed. After getting the ball, Lin Chen was already close to the edge of the penalty area, forming a single goal. Werder Bremen goalkeeper Pav resolutely abandoned the goal and opened his arms as much as possible, trying to stop Lin Chen. When Lin Chen brought the ball near the penalty spot, he did not choose to shoot. Instead, he simply knocked Puff down with a simple dunk, and then easily pushed the empty goal. 1-0. Only 13 minutes into the game, Werder Bremen fell behind by 1 goal, and Sahin paid a heavy price for his mistake in the front court. On the sidelines, Bremen head coach Koffert was also shocked by Lin Chen's speed. Even though I watched many replays of Lin Chen's previous goals in the analysis room, it is another matter to really feel it. Inside the Velten Stadium, the Schalke fans burst into cheers. Lin Chen, who is highly expected by everyone, is still playing steadily. Fans are not only looking forward to Lin Chen's next performance. Soon, the time came to the 33rd minute. Lin Chen overwhelmed Bremen's defender in the penalty area and scored with a header. The score then came to 2-0. The Werder Bremen players looked at Lin Chen, who was celebrating, with different eyes. Is this man a monster? Can't help but run fast, is the ability to fight so strong? On the sidelines, Bremen's head coach Kofeld even adjusted the team's tactics, allowing the two fullbacks to recover to the back line to defend Lin Chen's advance. But that didn't stop Lin Chen from scoring. The final moments of the first half. Lin Chen caught Shaheen's mistake in catching the ball again, pushed Shaheen away with his body, and then dribbled the ball all the way to the penalty area line. Facing Lin Chen's advance, Bremen's two central defenders did not dare to make a rash move, but retreated to block Lin Chen's way forward. Lin Chen saw that the defense was tight, so he stopped moving forward, stood at the front of the penalty area line, and shot directly with one kick. The ball instantly flew over the heads of the two central defenders of Bremen, and went straight to the dead corner of the goal. 3-0. Hat trick. In the Huiguo broadcast room, Shen Jian was also shocked by Lin Chen's performance. Less than half-time, Lin Chen scored another hat trick. Advertisement: Lin Chen's total goals in the Bundesliga also reached 14. Now I really want to know, who else in the Bundesliga can resist Lin Chen's attack? On netball.com, Huiguo fans also commented on Schalke 04's halftime report. Do you still need to watch Lin Chen's game? Waking up is another big victory. At first I thought the Bundesliga was weak. No, Lin Chen is too strong. It's crazy. I can't think of how to praise Lin Chen anymore. The stage is handed over to the downstairs. Inside the locker room, Tedesco told Lin Chen that there is no need to play the whole game. Lin Chen had no objection after hearing this. After all, with this unreasonable scoring efficiency, it would be a sad reminder if the frantic Werder Bremen maliciously retaliated. After all, Lin Chen has not yet developed the ability to be immune to injuries. If he is really injured and ends up in the game, it will not be worth the loss. The second half had just started. Tedesco replaced Lin Chen with Bergstaller. When Lin Chen left the field, all the Schalke fans in the Velten Stadium stood up and applauded. Facing the enthusiasm of the fans, Lin Chen also blew a kiss. After Lin Chen left the field, he checked his attribute panel. Body, 100, Stamina, 75, Breakthrough, 50, Dribbling, 81, Shots, 70, Speed, 92, Defense, 30, Remarks, 100, Full Marks, 40 amateur teams, 60 professional, 85 major leagues. Remaining attribute points, 14 at this time. Except for breakthrough and defense, Lin Chen's attribute values in other aspects are not bad. Lin Chen looked at the remaining 14 attribute points and couldn't help thinking about whether to increase the breakthrough point first. In this way, his attribute values in all aspects are not too low, and he can move towards the direction of an all-around center forward. Chapter 53. On the bench. Lin Chen compared which attribute was more cost-effective to add. In terms of physical strength, don't worry now, although the physical strength of 75 does not seem to be a lot. But most of the time, Lin Chen can basically end the game before halftime. The shooting itself has the buff of the shooter's instinct, and the long-range shots outside the penalty area may not be accurate enough, but for Lin Chen, the penalty zone killer, it is currently enough. As for the two items of dribbling and breakthrough, it seems that breakthrough needs to be improved more than dribbling. But Lin Chen looked at the breakthrough ability of 50 points later, and waited a little bit. Even if all 14 points of attributes are added to the breakthrough, it is only 64 points of attributes. This kind of attribute is not enough even in the previous Castillo, let alone in the Bundesliga now. And now in the team, a breakthrough is not what Lin Chen urgently needs. In addition to the final strike of the goal, Lin Chen did more to retreat to meet his teammates and control the ball under his feet. Compared with breakthroughs, what Lin Chen needs most is dribbling. And when counter-attacking, the addition of dribbling and speed also has a breakthrough effect. Of course, dribbling and breakthrough are also different. For example, Yi Siko, who has excellent skills at his feet, it is almost difficult for players to steal the ball from his feet when he starts dribbling. However, due to the insufficient starting speed and the waiting problem of dribbling route selection, he is not considered an efficient breakthrough player in many cases. On the other hand, players like Bell and Kaka, although their static ball handling skills are not the top players, but with their excellent stride and explosive starting speed, they can often give the opponent a fatal attack when the team counterattacks. One strike. Of course, there are also geniuses like Messi, Robin, Hazard, etc. who have both delicate feet and super breakthrough ability. With this in mind, Lin Chen simply added the remaining 14 attributes to dribbling. Advertisement: the original 81 points of dribbling instantly reached 95 points. Once improved, Lin Chen felt that his ability to control the ball was stronger. Lin Chen saw that the attribute points had bottomed out at this time, and knew that he needed more goals to obtain attribute points. Shortly after Lin Chen stepped off the field, the game also ended. The Bremen players who had no intention of fighting also failed to score again. In the end, Schalke 04 beat Werder Bremen 5-2 at home. After the game, some media carefully compared Lin Chen's scoring data in the first 4 games with the second-placed Lewandowski. Also in the center position, Lin Chen scored 14 goals in the first 4 games, while Lewandowski only had 4 goals. If you don't compare it with Lin Chen, Lewandowski's data of 1 goal per game is not bad. But when the fans saw that there was a difference of 10 goals between the first and second place in the scorer list, they couldn't help complaining that Lin Chen is a monster. Although the Bundesliga has only started 4 rounds, Lin Chen has an average scoring efficiency of 3.5 goals per game, which has never appeared before in the history of the Bundesliga. Schalke's local media Rhein Football Morning Post also praised Lin Chen after seeing the comparison of these 2 sets of data. I have to lament the high scoring efficiency of Lin Chen, which is simply unprecedented. Lin Chen's current performance can be called the king of the new generation of centers. It's like a new wave of strikers sweeping the Bundesliga. As an old-timer, Lewandowski seems to have become a player who can't score goals under the foil of Lin Chen. In fact, Hwaguo fans are most concerned about the data on the scorer list. As a villager of Lin Chen, when he saw the scorer list, Lin Chen threw away the second-placed Lewandowski by 10 goals. Fans have always believed that Lin Chen is now the number 1 center forward in the Bundesliga. Advertisement as for Lewandowski, Hwaguo fans can only unfortunately tell him that he should not have been born in the same era as Lin Chen. Of course, this is all ridicule. Lewandowski, who has already passed his peak period, is naturally different from a rising star like Lin Chen. But on the other hand, comparing Lin Chen with the former Bundesliga striker is itself a recognition of Lin Chen. Just 2 days later, Schalke ushered in the 5th round of the Bundesliga. Schalke 04 away to Freiburg. That afternoon, Schalke 04 boarded the bus in Freiburg. As the head coach of the Black Forest team, Streich is currently the longest-serving coach of an active Bundesliga team. In the new season, he will usher in the 7th full season of coaching Freiburg. For the Black Forest team, the theme of every Bundesliga season is almost a relegation battle, and this time is no exception. During the summer window before the season, Freiburg did not lose too many midfielders. Instead, the versatile midfielder Gondorf and the former Hamburg attacker Waldschmidt, who is talented but still unable to fully demonstrate, were added. But on the defensive line, Freiburg can be said to have suffered heavy losses. Except that Kempf, who had already announced that he would not renew his contract with the team, switched to Stuttgart. On the closing day of the Premier League, Turkish central defender Sancho was also signed by Leicester City. This made Streich worry about the Schalke game. After all, judging from the previous games, if you don't strengthen the defense against Lin Chen, you will face a painful lesson. Chapter 54. September 26. 7 o'clock sharp. Schalke 04's away game against Freiburg has officially begun. When Lin Chen just came out of the player tunnel, the system suddenly issued a new task. System task: 5 consecutive victories in the league, not completed. Mission reward: 1-star injury immunity, immune to injury. Lin Chen took a quick look at the function of injury immunity on one side with a little surprise. 1-star injury immunity can be immune to some common injuries, and the highest is 5-star, which can be completely immune to all injuries. The impact of injuries on a player can be said to be fatal. Many stars in history have gradually faded out of the court because of injuries. One of the most regrettable ones may be Luo, who is called an alien. Before the appearance of Messi and Ronaldo, Ronaldo was the most dazzling existence in the football world. He was called an alien, and some people even thought that he had surpassed Pelé. But it is such a top football player who has been plagued by injuries several times in his career. He only played 37 games in 4 years, which is really a pity. After the game starts, the head coach of Freiburg also knows that his defense is not strong enough, and the tactics of defensive counterattack will naturally not work. So Streich directly arranged a formation of 4,231, and launched a fierce attack on Schalke 04 at the beginning. Faced with this situation, Tedesco did not panic. Just let the players concentrate on defense, and then sat back on the coach's bench. Tedesco's leisurely attitude is in stark contrast to Streich, who is standing on the sidelines and directing the team nervously. Advertisement: in fact, it wasn't that Tedesco didn't pay attention to the opponent's tactics, it was just that with Lin Chen present, Tedesco didn't believe that the game would not win at all. Lin Chen also lived up to the trust of the head coach. After Schalke 04 withstood Freiburg's onslaught at the beginning, it gradually took control of the situation on the field. As Lin Chen drops back and catches the ball more frequently, McKennie, who is responsible for distributing the ball in the midfield, also began to send the ball to Lin Chen's feet continuously. But Freiburg's midfielder Cook did not give Lin Chen too many opportunities. According to the targeted tactics of the head coach for Lin Chen before the game, he always stared at Lin Chen. Lin Chen was also psychologically prepared for this situation. He was not in a hurry, but waited patiently for the opportunity. After all, there will be loopholes in the defense after all, and it is impossible for Cook to follow him all the time. Sure enough, the 15th minute. When Embolo dropped the ball from the front court, he brought out a Freiburg left-back player. In order to fill the gap left by the players, Cook also had to move closer to the left. Lin Chen took the opportunity to run near the right sideline and distanced himself from Cook. After receiving the ball, Embolo handed the ball to McKennie, who took advantage of the situation to observe the players' positions. When he saw Lin Chen secretly gesticulating the penalty area for himself, McKennie immediately understood and kicked a long pass to the outside of the opponent's penalty area. Lin Chen was also the first to start, running towards the path of the ball. Freiburg didn't dare to be careless, and the defense immediately leaned over. Although Cook was pulled away by Schalke 04's scheduling, Lin Chen still had two central defenders from Freiburg in front of him. When Dominic saw the ball coming from behind, he immediately ran over, trying to clear the ball out of the sideline. But Lin Chen's speed has completely increased at this time, and he directly passed Dominic, who was running at full speed from behind. McKennie's pass was very precise and hit the back of the Freiburg defender, but Lin Chen seems to be far away from where the ball landed. Can he catch the ball? Advertisement. Oh my god! Lin Chen is very fast, like a galloping horse on the grass. He got the ball directly before Dominic, and took it forward. Lin Chen's sudden overtaking made all the Freiburg fans in the Betternova Stadium break out in a cold sweat. On the sidelines, the head coach of the Black Forest team, Strike, also looked nervous, and loudly signaled the team to retreat and defend. Lin Chen's dribbling speed is very fast, and he has already reached Freiburg's penalty area. Goalkeeper Schweroff strikes. When Lin Chen dribbled the ball into the penalty area, the goalkeeper of Freiburg also gave up the goal directly and rushed towards Lin Chen. Facing the attacking Schweroff, Lin Chen did not choose to pass the goalkeeper. Directly hit the goal with a strong kick near the penalty spot. Boom! In the Bednova Stadium, all Freiburg fans held their breath and prayed that the goal would not be scored. The sound of Lin Chen's shot was also very clear. But luck was not on Freiburg's side, and the ball hit the net. Overtake the ball and get the ball. Single shot in the penalty area. In just 15 minutes, Lin Chen opened the scoring. Surprising speed. Super shooting ability. These all appeared on a center forward. The commentator couldn't help being surprised by Lin Chen's goal. The stands. All Freiburg fans are also fooled. What kind of monster is this? Could it be that Lin Chen is really unstoppable? Chapter 55. Lin Chen once again showed us his proud speed. Even after watching so many Lin Chen games, it's hard to imagine that a Hwagyo center possesses strong physical fitness, extremely fast speed and precise shooting ability at the same time. In the broadcast room of Sports Channel 5, Shen Jian's cadenced commentary sounded again. The Hwagyo fans were also very excited to see Lin Chen's violent and beautiful goal. Know the ball net, Schalke 04 goal text message comment area. Am I dazzled? Why did Lin Chen suddenly run to the front? This speed. I'm afraid Bell will have to bow down when he comes. Too strong, you never know how much surprise 18-year-old Lin Chen can bring you. For Lin Chen's way of scoring goals, Hwagyo fans just want to say more. This kind of direct use of speed to crush the opponent's goals, no matter how many there are, is something fans will never tire of watching. However, there are also some different voices in the comment area. To be honest, Lin Chen is still young now, and this advantage of body and speed may disappear when he gets older. Indeed, I think a good striker should play with his head. This kind of violent overtaking is very demanding on the body. If it is used frequently, I worry that Lin Chen's body will not be able to bear it. Another kind of comment from the fans is not to slander Lin Chen's goal, but more out of the perspective of caring about Lin Chen. Of course, these remarks are indeed what all fans are worried about, but Lin Chen's current performance is too good, so it was covered up. In history, there are also players who shine in the early stages of their careers only by relying on their physical conditions, but then decline when they get older. For example, Adriano, who is also a center forward. Adelaide's body is as strong as Lin Chen's. At that time, many people claimed that Adelaide was the template of a perfect center forward. Advertisement. He has skills, Outstanding shooting ability, great shooting power, and his strong body makes him omnipotent in Serie A. At that time, many people jokingly called Adelaide a combination of Vieri, Batty, and Ronaldinho. It's just a pity that Adelaide's peak period also disappeared with his age, otherwise, his achievements may not be lower than Melo. Bednova on the pitch. Schalke's coach Tedesco didn't think about it. He now only thinks that Lin Chen is a treasure given to Schalke 04 by God. If the Bianconeri now replace Lin Chen with Ronaldo, Tedesco may have to think about it. On the other hand, Freiburg's head coach Streich looked annoyed and loudly reprimanded the players on the field. As the head coach of Freiburg for 7 seasons, Streich has the absolute right to speak in the team. Everyone has to listen to his roar, and no player dares to refute. But in the face of the coach's anger, central defender Dominique could only helplessly spread his hands. If it's because he didn't concentrate on defending and lost the ball, then that's okay. The problem is that this is entirely a gap in strength. The speed at which the opposite center ran, Dominic thought for a moment that Bolt was on the court. The game continues. Naturally, Freiburg was not reconciled to being 1 goal behind at home, and once again launched a fierce attack against Schalke's goal. But Schalke's defense was also very tenacious, and the plan of the Black Forest team did not succeed in the remaining half-time. Inside the locker room, Tedesco told the players to let go of the kick, and Lin Chen will give you the bottom line, this game cannot be lost. Hearing what the head coach said, the Schalke 04 players couldn't deny it either. Lin Chen could only shake his head helplessly. After a short break, the second half of the game began. Advertisement Tedesco also arranged tactics with the players before the start. Cooperate more with Lin Chen, as long as you see Lin Chen in the penalty area, feel free to hang the ball into the penalty area. This tactic can be said to be very practical in the previous few games, and it is also a tactic often practiced by the team. But after the opening game, Freiburg's tactical changes prevented Tedesco's tactics from taking shape. Streich directly replaced Tracino, one of the double arrows, with midfielder Gundorf. The increase in the thickness of Freiburg's midfield also failed to allow Lin Chen to continue to take the ball comfortably. Time passed by every minute and every second. It was more than 80 minutes soon, and neither side found any good opportunities. When Tedesco didn't dare to replace Lin Chen at this time, if the score was equalized by Freiburg later, the loss would not be worth the loss. Lin Chen also consumed a lot of physical strength in the midfield fight. Lin Chen, who is dressed roughly, also regards improving his physical strength as his current priority. Finally, at 89 minutes, Schalke won a corner, which was taken very seriously by players from both sides. So that except for the penalty area, there are only 2 Schalke 04 central defenders and a Freiburg striker on the entire pitch. The corner kick is taken. Everyone in the penalty area was in a mess, and Lin Chen also failed to grab a header. But when the ball was about to hit the ground, Lin Chen tried his best to touch the ball with his toes. After the ball was refracted by a defensive player, it rolled into the net strangely. 0-2. Chapter 56. Lore. Lin Chen scored twice before the whistle. This goal also directly wiped out Freiburg's last hope of equalizing. In the Bednova Stadium, less than 1,000 Schalke 04 expedition fans celebrated to their heart's content, which was in stark contrast to the silent Freiburg fans at this time. Lin Chen! Lin Chen! The Schalke fans let go of their voices and shouted Lin Chen's name vigorously. The Bednova Stadium seemed to be Lin Chen's home field at this time. At this moment Lin Chen is a well-deserved prince and hero in the hearts of Schalke 04 fans. Although there are not many Schalke fans, this is the home ground of Schalke 04 amidst their shouts. The source of all this is Lin Chen's final shot. Lin Chen once again showed his terrifying physical fitness in the penalty area. Under the marking of 3 Freiburg players, he still scored the ball. From the reaction of the Schalke fans, it can be seen that Lin Chen is the best player in their hearts right now. If Lin Chen can stay in this team for a long time, I believe Lin Chen will become a legend of Schalke 04. Just like Ronaldo is to Real Madrid, Messi is to Barcelona, and now Lin Chen is to Schalke 04. On Sports 5, Shen Jian was like Mr. Huang Jianhua possessed at this moment, and he praised Lin Chen endlessly. Huaguo fans also joked about Shen Jian's commentary in the live broadcast room. Ha ha ha, Shen Jian has completely become Lin Chui now. Lin Chen, it's over. I still need to work hard now. It's okay, it's outrageous to boast, on the pitch. The Freiburg players bowed their heads, not daring to face the disappointed eyes of the fans in the stands. The whole field was pressing and defending against the opposite center, but he didn't expect to score another goal at the end of the game. Advertisement: the original plan to counterattack and equalize the score at the last moment also fell through. Seeing the Schalke players celebrating recklessly in the corner, the Freiburg players felt an indescribable loss in their hearts. Is our strength worse than theirs? In fact, other than Lin Chen, Freiburg can even be said to be playing against Schalke 04 at one point, but there is a hang on the other side. Shortly after kickoff again, Schalke launched another very threatening attack. After making the steal, Marcotte kicked a cross directly from the sideline. Lin Chen is already in place in the restricted area. However, after a whole round of fierce fighting, Lin Chen was exhausted at this time, and finally failed to hit the ball. At this time, the referee saw that the 3-minute stoppage time had expired, so he stopped the game directly. When Lin Chen left the field, the system promptly reminded Lin Chen that the mission had been completed. System task: 5 consecutive victories in the league, completed. Mission reward: 1 star injury immunity. A new talent appeared in the buff column, 1 star of injury immunity. In addition, Lin Chen also discovered that this buff can be upgraded by attribute points. Currently, it needs 50 attribute points to upgrade from 1 star to 2 stars. 50 attribute points. Lin Chen took another look at the upgrade requirements to make sure he read it correctly. Afterwards, Lin Chen looked at the 2 attribute points he had just accumulated, and couldn't help but spit out a black-hearted system. Inside the locker room, Lin Chen was joking with his teammates. At this time, the head coach Tedesco suddenly ran in from the door. Draw! Draw! Advertisement. Just when everyone was wondering what the tie was, what Tedesco said afterwards with an excited face caused all the Schalke players and coaching staff to fall into a carnival. Bayern are tied. We're at the top. At the same time Schalke ended the game, Bayern's game also ended. But to everyone's surprise, Bayern sat in the Allianz Arena and was tied by the visiting Augsburg. 86th minute. Götze Jr., Felix Götze shot through the goal guarded by Neuer. In the following time, all members of Augsburg defended against Bayern's fierce counterattack at the last moment. In the end, Bayern Munich drew 1-1 with Augsburg, which also ended their 7-game winning streak in all competitions. Other events have little to do with Schalke 04, but this league draw directly puts Schalke at the top of the league with 15 points. At this time, all the players understood why Tedesco was so excited, and violent cheers broke out in the Schalke locker room again. Captain Fairman found a bottle of champagne from nowhere and wanted to use it to celebrate the team's summit moment. At this time, the Schalke players saw that Lin Chen was just standing aside smiling and applauding. Seeing this, Maycote immediately pulled Lin Chen over. This bottle of champagne must be opened by you, without you we could not complete this miraculous 5-game winning streak. Marcotte said firmly. Lin Chen looked at the affirmative eyes of the head coach and the players, then took the champagne from the captain's hand and shook it vigorously. Us! Climbing to the top. In the locker room, everyone shouted in unison, and hops sprayed out accordingly. This moment was often remembered by Lin Chen after he retired. Although it was only a temporary climb to the top, for Lin Chen at that time, he really felt the charm of football. Chapter 57. Perhaps the fans of the Bundesliga are used to seeing Bayern in the league all year round. The sudden ascension of the chief Schalke 04 directly broke the inherent cognition of the fans. Compared with the overlord defending the ring, people may prefer to see the rise of the dark horse. So after the game, the German media also reported on these 2 games. Lin Chen, who is the absolute main force of the team, the top scorer in the team, the top scorer in the Bundesliga, and the absolute hero of the 5-game winning streak, also received extensive coverage. The authoritative German football media kicker also praised Lin Chen. In the battle for the top spot that just ended yesterday, young player Hwaguo scored a goal in the 15th minute and scored twice in the 89th minute. Schalke 04 also relied on the victory of this game to accumulate points to 15 points, replacing Bayern in one fell swoop and taking the top spot in the Bundesliga standings. As the biggest contributor to Schalke's ascent to the top, Lin Chen also ranks first in the scorer list with a total of 16 goals. As a player who has just turned 18, he has played so brilliantly since he just joined the team. Many fans even think that Lin Chen will become a new generation of striker superstar. In Hwaguo, Schalke's game also became the #1 hot searched game. Lin Chen scored twice. Help Schalke 04 rise to the top of the league table. As soon as this post came out, fans who didn't stay up late to watch the game knew about Lin Chen's performance last night. I've said it a long time ago, don't watch Lin Chen's game. When you wake up, it's a big victory. Where's Bayern? Everyone, save me. He played the whole game. Lin Chen made me lose sight of his strength more and more. Seeing Lin Chen's victories one after another, Hwagyo fans couldn't help but feel a little bit of anticipation in their hearts. Advertisement: is there any national team competition recently? I want to see Lin Chen wearing the national team uniform. Come on, playing football with the stinking chess basket will only make you worse. What are your intentions? Are you trying to kill the hope of Hwagyo football? Regarding the remarks about letting Lin Chen join the national team, the fans just want to say that they don't deserve it. It is not worthy of the national team. At the same time, Lin Chen scored crazy goals in the Bundesliga, which also let the Spanish media know. Real Madrid's official media Marca made a comparison between Lin Chen's performance and Real Madrid's recent performance. At this time, Real Madrid had just lost 0-3 to Sevilla in the 6th round of La Liga, and directly dedicated the chance to reach the top of the league to Barcelona. The performances of Benzema and Bell were also unsatisfactory, and the defender Marcelo was injured and forced to leave the field in the 73rd minute. Real Madrid's internal running-in problems are gradually exposed to the fans' vision, and the state of both offense and defense cannot satisfy the fans. When the club was still immersed in the joy of 3 consecutive championships, Real Madrid had already stood on the edge of a cliff without knowing it. On the other hand, Lin Chen helped Schalke 04 reach the top in the Bundesliga. And Lin Chen's Bundesliga goals also came to a terrifying 16 goals. This made Real Madrid fans start to question the club. Why did they let such an excellent player out on loan instead of being directly called into the first team? At this time, I have to mention the teenager Vinicius, who was introduced by Real Madrid's Xia Chuang for €45 million. Until now, the Brazilian genius has never started a game, and even the substitute time is very little. Real Madrid fans can't help but wonder if coach Lopetegui has completely given up on Vinicius. The ability of the new 8 is not good, and the performance of the veteran is not good. Advertisement: Real Madrid's striker looked luxurious, but it failed to help the team convert into points. When Real Madrid fans learned that Lin Chen's loan contract contained a clause of recall at any time, the fans began to call on the club to recall Lin Chen. Some fans even posted a petition on social platforms, hoping that the club will recall Lin Chen. Once the event was issued, it immediately attracted votes from many Real Madrid fans. The number of petitions is growing at a rate of hundreds of people per minute, which shows how much Real Madrid fans want Lin Chen to return to Real Madrid. All kinds of remarks from the outside world were full of enthusiasm, but this did not affect Lin Chen. After the last game, Lin Chen also discovered his lack of physical fitness. So next, Lin Chen needs more goals and more attribute points to improve his physical attributes. And the Ruhr Derby in the next game against Mainz is a good opportunity for Lin Chen to score points. Just as Lin Chen thought, Mainz's strength is not strong, and it was only in the penultimate round last season that they succeeded in relegation. The Milk Powder, which ranked 14th last season, lost important personnel in the third line this summer. First, the French U21 captain Abdou Diallo joined Dortmund with the first transfer fee of €28 million in team history. Then the midfielder Zelda also went to another Ruhr club, Schalke 04, where Lin Chen is now. The team's top scorer Yoshiki Muto was brought to St James Park by Newcastle United. These 3 transactions earned Mainz a full €50 million. But the team's investment in signings is pitiful, so although the new season has just started, Mainz has fallen into the quagmire of fighting for relegation ahead of schedule. Chapter 58. Daxia. As Lin Chen continued to score goals, his influence also increased. The match between Schalke 04 and Mainz was originally just an unimportant game. But the high ratings shocked the staff of Sports 5, far higher than the ratings of other leagues, even the Giants matchup. September 27. At 2:30 p.m. German time, the game kicked off early. As soon as the Schalke 04 players came out of the player tunnel, they were warmly welcomed by the fans. When Lin Chen appeared in the sight of the fans, the welcome sound of the entire Velten Stadium reached a climax. In this game, Mainz also knew that their strength was not as good as Schalke 04, not to mention that the opponent had a scorer like Lin Chen. Therefore, German coach Sandro also directly arranged a formation of 5 defenders. But Tedesco was also prepared. 2 days before the game, Schalke 04 focused on rehearsing high-position pressing and anti-offside tactics. Among them, the anti-offside tactic was specially prepared for Lin Chen. When he saw the speed shown by Lin Chen in the last game, Tedesco formulated this tactic without hesitation. Of course, as the most important part of the team, Lin Chen also plays a big role in the team's high press. After all, a very important aspect of high position pressing is to cut off Mainz's lateral pass. Among them, Lin Chen's physical fitness in the front court has also greatly improved the team's ability to get the ball in the front court. The process of the game did not exceed Tedesco's expectations. 7th minute. Schalke took advantage of Mainz's unsteady start when they found their chance. Zelda's sudden grab broke the ball at the feet of Cameroon international Malong, and then launched a counter-attack directly, advancing along the left. Advertisement. After seeing the Mainz players attack, he passed the ball directly to McKennie in the middle. The latter was also closely marked by the Mainz defenders, so McKennie did not choose to advance directly after receiving the ball, but protected the ball under his feet first. At this moment, Lin Chen was already rushing into the penalty area at high speed. Seeing Lin Chen roaring, McKennie directly kicked over the top and penetrated Mainz's defense. The ball happened to land on Lin Chen's forward path. Faced with the opponent's central defender Niakat's malicious impact on his body, Lin Chen directly knocked him to the ground on the way. Then Lin Chen directly drove the ball into the penalty area, and directly shot through the goal of Mainz. Mainz goalkeeper Florian was scored before he even had time to react. In the face of the malicious defense of the Mainz defenders, Lin Chen didn't express too much, and directly used physical confrontation to prove that he couldn't defend himself like this. The subsequent goal was also very decisive. Only 7 minutes into the game and the score became 1-0. Mainz coach Sandro frowned at this time. Niakat's small defensive moves were specially arranged by Sandro before the game, but it seems that the effect of defending Lin Chen is not very good. Sandro shook his head, and then arranged for the defenders to step up their defensive actions, even if they were yellow cards. In this game, in order to defend against Lin Chen's impact, Sandro made up his mind before the game to use all 3 substitutions on defenders. In other words, they want to use constant fouls to prevent Lin Chen from scoring goals. But Lin Chen's subsequent performance did not make Sandro's arrangement successful. 34 minutes. Lin Chen once again broke free from Malone's pull near the middle circle, and retreated back to receive the pass from the player. After receiving the pass from McKennie, Lin Chen directly distributed the ball to the left winger Kono, who was rushing at high speed. Because Mainz's offensive formation was too high this time, Kono continued to advance along the right after receiving the ball, and was only intercepted when he was close to the penalty area. The moment Lin Chen received the ball from Kono, he also turned around and ran back, passing the opposite midfielder in an instant. Kono. Advertisement. Lin Chen called Kono's name while running, and the latter immediately understood and stuffed the ball directly into the penalty area. Lin Chen accelerated again and passed directly past the defender. Niakat was caught off guard and wanted to hold Lin Chen with his hand, but he was caught in vain. Mainz's defense is flawed. Lin Chen has already entered the penalty area. Niakat was still reaching out to signal the line referee Lin Chen to be offside, but the line referee did not raise the flag. Lin Chen took a shot. The ball went in. Lin Chen didn't wait for the goalkeeper Florian to pounce on him, and directly pushed a little near the penalty spot, and the ball passed by the goalkeeper and entered the goal. 2-0. Another burst of cheers erupted at the Velten Stadium. Without waiting for the Mainz players to come back to their senses. 41st minute. After Lin Chen got the ball in the middle circle again, he distributed the ball to Marco, who was plugging in. After receiving the ball, Marco didn't stop, dribbling on the right side for a while, passing 2 defensive players one after another. Then when he came to the corner area, Makwut glanced at the penalty area, and then made a cross. Lin Chen in the penalty area threw off the double teaming of the opponent's 2 defenders and rose directly to the ground. Header. The ball crashed into the net. Lin Chen scored another goal. Completed a hat-trick. Chapter 59. Another hat-trick. Lin Che continued his crazy performance in the last game. 3 goals were scored in just half of this game, completely driving Mainz into the abyss. Fans don't know how far Lin Chen's goals will go. At this moment Lin Chen completely became the protagonist on the Velten Stadium. As the narrator said. In the stands, countless Schalke fans shouted Lin Chen's name frantically. At this moment, Lin Chen is a well-deserved absolute protagonist on the field. On the sidelines, Tedesco had a love-hate relationship with Lin Chen. What I love is Lin Chen's crazy goal at this time, amazing performance. Quite why Lin Chen is only a player on loan to Schalke 04. Tedesco thinks all the time, if Lin Chen can register for the Champions League, then Schalke can at least reach the semi-finals, not to mention the final. It is a pity that Lin Chen can only show his talent and ability in the league. But how long can this situation last? Including the 3 goals in this game, Lin Chen's total goals in the Bundesliga has reached a terrifying 19 goals. 19 goals in just 6 games. This kind of amazing performance, if Real Madrid still has eyes, they must have noticed Lin Chen's performance, and now Real Madrid urgently needs a player like Lin Chen who can score stably. It is foreseeable that Real Madrid may recall Lin Chen to the team soon. Amidst the cheers of the Schalke fans, the first half of the game also ended. Knowing the Ball Online also released the halftime report of the game for the first time. Another hat-trick. Lin Chen kills the game at halftime. Lin Chen scored a goal in the 7th minute, 34th minute and 41st minute. Advertisement before halftime. It was basically the loss of the game for Mainz. In the comment area, Hwagyo fans seemed to be accustomed to Lin Chen scoring goals, and began to discuss Lin Chen's career path. In other words, Real Madrid should have noticed this kind of performance. The top scorer list in the Bundesliga, and the top scorer list ahead of Lewandowski by 14 goals, how could Real Madrid not notice? It's time to call Lin Chen back. Let's see what Real Madrid is playing now. I'm already looking forward to Lin Chen's return to the scene where Real Madrid is killing 4 sides in La Liga. It's time for a new king at the Bernabéu. It has to be said that most of the Hwagyo fans are wealthy fans, and everyone is concerned about when Lin Chen will return to Real Madrid. But no one cares about what will happen if Schalke 04 loses Lin Chen. After a 15-minute intermission, the second half continued. As soon as the game started, Lin Chen was replaced by Tedesco with Embolo. Tedesco recognized the fact that Lin Chen had not been with the team for a long time, and saw that Lin Chen basically killed the game. He directly replaced the young player Embolo to exercise. When Lin Chen left the field, all the Schalke fans applauded and sent Lin Chen off. Perhaps Schalke fans also understand that as Lin Chen's performance becomes more and more eye-catching, the days of Lin Chen's Schalke are getting shorter and shorter. It is precisely because they can't get it that Schalke fans cherish Lin Chen's time in the team more and more. In the next second half-time, Embolo also lived up to Tedesco's expectations and scored a goal in the 80th minute. And Mainz also completely let go of his hands and feet at the last moment and launched a dying counterattack. At the most moment, the French U21 teenager Mata also scored a goal. Finally, the score was fixed at 4-1. Advertisement. Schalke also completed a wave of 6 consecutive victories. The next day, inside the Schalke 04 training base, Lin Chen is doing recovery training with the help of his physical trainer. The teammates were conducting tactical drills on the next court, and it wasn't that Tedesco didn't let Lin Chen participate. But 3 days later, Schalke 04 will go to Moscow to meet the team's second opponent in the Champions League, Lokomotiv Moscow. Since Lin Chen has not registered for the Champions League, he can only do recovery training on the sidelines. Tedesco couldn't help but sigh every time his gaze rested on Lin Chen. If Lin Chen is here, then he is sure to win the next match. While Tedesco was instructing the team to train, Schalke team director Hader and a bald man came to the sidelines. Hader beckoned Lin Chen to come out. Seeing this, Lin Chen greeted the fitness coach and walked out of the training ground. When Lin Chen walked in, looking at the bald man in front of him, for some reason, Lin Chen always felt that he looked very much like Guardiola. At this time, the bald man also shook hands with Lin Chen and greeted Lin Chen with a smile on his face, and then introduced himself. "Hi Lin Chen, let me introduce myself, my name is Per Guardiola, you can call me Per directly." Looking at the smiling man in front of him, Lin Chen finally knew who he was. The younger brother of the Champions League champion coach and current Manchester City coach Josep Guardiola, Per Guardiola. At the same time, Per Guardiola is also one of the top football agents in football. Thinking of his identity, Lin Chen immediately understood Per's purpose. P.S. Anyone else? Tat, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data. Chapter 60. If Per and Guardiola stand together, some people will mistakenly think that Per is the big brother. But in fact Per is 5 years younger than Guardiola, but he is a little anxious. Although Per is the brother of the Nou Camp master P.E. Guardiola, his skills are far from his brother's. After an unsuccessful player period, after retiring, Per did not choose to embark on the road of coaching with Guardiola, but became an agent. From then on, Per began his extraordinary career as an agent. The easygoing pair's biggest player is undoubtedly the Uruguayan Luis Suarez, who helped Barcelona complete the treble in the 15th season and is known as the Sua God. David Villa and Little White Iniesta, who had previously conquered Barcelona's 6-time crown dynasty, were also his players. In addition to players, Pair also has coaches under his banner. His brother Guardiola's agent is him. The reason why Guashuai was able to defeat several popular candidates to become the coach of the Barcelona first team in the summer of 2008 was also the result of negotiations between Pair and the then Barcelona chairman Laporta and Barcelona godfather Cruyff. Perhaps because of Pair's very professional ethics, some young players will also choose Pair to be their agent. For example, Toller, who was once known as Little Fatu, is one of them. Of course, Pair's network resources are also very strong. Not to mention the relationship accumulated in the player period, Pair also has a very close relationship with various clubs and the shareholders behind them. Even last summer, Pair joined forces with City Football to buy 88% of Girona's shares, and Pair also successfully became an absolute major shareholder. Lin Chen also appreciated Pair's resume. In the reception room of the Schalke base, Lin Chen had a pleasant conversation with Pair, and Pair was also surprised by the smoothness of the conversation. Advertisement. In fact, before coming to Schalke, Pair was not 100% sure that he could sign Lin Chen. With Lin Chen's current performance, using the title of Genius Center is a bit wronged for him. Although Lin Chen is only 18 years old now, the ability he has shown is simply amazing. Moreover, Lin Chen, who is nearly 18 years old, has unlimited possibilities and unlimited potential, so many agents are also actively taking action. There are many well-known agents among them. According to media reports, super agent Mendes expressed his appreciation for the player Lin Chen in front of the camera. He also said that he would like to sign Lin Chen if possible. Lin Chen. However, it was still preempted by Pair. When Pair saw Lin Chen's report in the news, he checked Lin Chen's information and data, and jumped up from the sofa excitedly. Immediately, Pair bought a ticket to Schalke, ready to watch Lin Chen's game again on the spot. When Pair saw Lin Chen perform a hat-trick against Mainz in just half the game, he completely admired Lin Chen. Pair even thought for a moment that if Lin Chen could be signed, then this would be the most correct decision in Pair's management career. In the reception room, Lin Chen carefully read the contract, and Pair's conditions were pitifully few. In addition to wages and bonuses, transfer and endorsement commissions are only 10%. This can be said to be very kind in the brokerage contract. You must know that there are many unscrupulous brokers in football who dare to raise 5 points. At the same time, Lin Chen also has a veto right for transfers and endorsements. It can be seen that Pair respects him very much. Lin Chen couldn't think of any reason to refuse such a contract. After reading it, Lin Chen didn't hesitate at all, and asked Pair directly for a signing pen, and signed his name on the contract. Advertisement. Pair was also surprised that Lin Chen signed the contract so readily and acted so decisively. He couldn't help but appreciate Lin Chen more in his heart. After signing the contract, the two shook hands to express their happy cooperation. Afterwards, Pair directly switched to Lin Chen's agent status and began to plan his career path for Lin Chen. When asked whether Lin Chen will return to Real Madrid this season, Lin Chen said without hesitation, "I don't want to go to any club other than Real Madrid." Pair knew it well, and then pondered for a moment to let Lin Chen focus on the current Bundesliga, and then he will operate the next thing. Just as the two sides were about to finish their conversation, Pair seemed to remember something important. "May I take the liberty to ask, I see that you have never participated in any of the national team competitions of Huaguo. So have you considered naturalizing some football powers? After all, with Huaguo's football strength, it may be difficult to enter the World Cup." Lin Chen shook his head without thinking. "No, I haven't thought about being naturalized in any other country. Even if Daxia never recruits me, or never enters the World Cup, I will never be naturalized in other countries. Because I was born a Hyuxia. This can never be changed." Chapter 61. After sending Pair away, Lin Chen can be considered to have completed a worry, and then he can play football with peace of mind. As for endorsements, transfer contracts, or some other trivial matters, they can all be handed over to Pair to operate. For example, Lin Chen's current contract is still the youth training contract signed with Castillo. Although when he came to Schalke 04 on loan, the contract was renewed for 1 year. However, Lin Chen did not perform in the first team at that time, so his salary was only higher than that of most youth training players. It can be regarded as the importance Castile attaches to Lin Chen. And now, with his development in Schalke 04 getting better and better, when he returns to Real Madrid, definitely will get a good contract. After all, he doesn't need to spend a transfer fee. But if you want to get a good contract from Real Madrid, you have to rely on yourself to kick it out in a tough battle. He is in Schalke now, and he hasn't played Bayern and Dortmund yet. While Lin Chen is training hard, the time has also entered October. Schalke 04 also went away to play against Lokomotiv Moscow. Without Lin Chen, Schalke 04 also had a very difficult game. They had a fierce physical confrontation with Lokomotiv Moscow at the RZD Stadium. At the end of a game, 5 players from both sides received yellow cards. It wasn't until the 88th minute that McKennie scored a lure goal. In the end, Schalke narrowly beat Lokomotiv Moscow 1-0 and took all 3 points in the away game. In the same round of the Champions League, Real Madrid also came to Moscow. But at a very different time, Real Madrid did not win the game and lost 0-1 to CSKA Moscow in the away game. A mistake made by the 28-year-old German midfielder Kroos in a return pass directly gave CSKA an excellent opportunity to score. Advertisement Vlasic kicked a low shot into the net to help the team win. In addition to this game, Real Madrid has won 3 rounds in all competitions, and Real Madrid did not score a goal in these 3 games. Starting with a 0-3 defeat to Sevilla, and then a 0-0 draw with rivals Atletico Madrid in the next round, this opened up the points between Real Madrid and the league leader Barcelona by a full 4 points. After losing to CSKA Moscow, this is unacceptable to Real Madrid. After all, Real Madrid, as the champion of the Champions League, has never suffered such humiliation in the past 2 years. Real Madrid fans are increasingly dissatisfied with the status quo of the team, and many fans begin to miss the time when Ronaldo was still in Real Madrid. Although some Real Madrid players have been liberated after Ronaldo left, Bell, Benzema, and Asensio performed very well. But after encountering strong teams like Sevilla and Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid's disadvantages became apparent. Facing the onslaught of strong teams, Real Madrid couldn't make an effective counterattack at all. Without Ronaldo, Real Madrid is like a tiger without sharp teeth. It looks very strong and can bully teams with low strength, but it becomes helpless when encountering opponents of the same level. Real Madrid fans can't help but wonder, who can carry the banner of offense in such a Real Madrid? Of course, Real Madrid fans also have their sustenance. Lin Chen, who is produced by his own youth training and is still on loan at Schalke, is undoubtedly the most concerned about Real Madrid fans. 3 days after the second round of the Champions League group stage, Schalke 04 also ushered in the 7th round of the league opponent Düsseldorf. Although Düsseldorf, which has just been promoted this season, is known as the weakest champion of the Bundesliga in recent years. But this does not mean that they only regard the Bundesliga journey as a journey. Under the premise of limited funds, the team is also trying to make the greatest possible reinforcement. Moreover, Düsseldorf's record this season is not bad, and it can be regarded as a difficult opponent. Facing the new round of the league, the Schalke players who have just experienced the European war do not have enough physical reserves. Tedesco can only pin his hopes on Lin Chen, who is going through a 1-week off-season. Lin Chen is also recharging his energy, ready to show his skills in the league. October 6 at 6:30 in the evening. The game officially started. Advertisement after the opening, Lin Chen began to run without hesitation. Schalke 04 also relied on Lin Chen's ability to hold the ball to suppress Düsseldorf on the court. In the 16th minute, McKennie made a wonderful pass, Lin Chen scored a goal, and Schalke opened the scoring 1-0. In the 32nd minute, McKennie and Lin Chen had a tacit connection again, and Lin Chen seized the opportunity to score again. McKennie assisted twice, and Lin Chen scored twice in less than half-time. In the second half, they changed sides and fought again. Schalke 04 still took the initiative on the field. In the 60th minute, Maytud made the ball and Lin Chen scored another hat-trick. After Lin Chen went off, Düsseldorf grabbed a penalty in the closing stages. Hennings made a point shot and helped the team return a goal. The final score remained at 1-3 and the game ended. Schalke 04 also won the league for 7 consecutive victories. Lin Chen, who completed another hat-trick, naturally received most of the attention, and Schalke fans praised Lin Chen endlessly. In addition to Schalke fans, Real Madrid fans in Spain are also very concerned about Lin Chen's performance. When seeing Lin Chen's total number of goals in the Bundesliga has come to a terrifying 22 goals. Many Real Madrid fans began to seriously study what position Lin Chen could play if he returned to Real Madrid. Have a body. You can play as a standing center and help the team counterattack with the ball. Has archery. You can play as a striker to help the team complete the final blow. There is dribbling. Can play the attacking midfielder and help the team improve the ball control ability. Have speed. Can play as a winger and directly use speed to tear through the opponent's defense. After some analysis, Real Madrid fans found that Lin Chen can play almost all positions in the front court. He is simply an all-round striker. If Lin Chen returns to Real Madrid, coupled with Casemiro and Modric in the midfield, Lin Chen will not be able to eat cakes until he vomits. Chapter 62. Schalke 04 has ushered in a 2-week adjustment period after winning 7 consecutive league victories. But Tedesco was not immersed in the joy of the team's winning streak, because they are about to face the Bundesliga giants Bayern Munich in the next round. This team was established in 1900. At the beginning of its establishment, I am afraid that no one thought that Bayern would dominate the Bundesliga for half a century. In 1965, Bayern Munich participated in the Bundesliga for the first time, and directly won the third place in the league, and even won the German Cup in one fell swoop. Since this year, Bayern has won 27 Bundesliga championships in the league in the next half-century. The other teams in the Bundesliga have only 28 times in total. What's even more frightening is that the Bundesliga team that has won the second most championships is Borussia Dortmund and Borussia Mönchengladbach with only 5 championships. Among them, the biggest advantage is the 12-13th season. The Bundesliga giants even lead the second-placed Dortmund by as much as 25 points. In the Bundesliga, which has only played 34 rounds, this advantage is even more incredible. It is also from this year that Bayern has been winning the Bundesliga championship. For the Bundesliga, which has an unshakable dominance for 5 years, the only variable is that the winning process in the 18-19th season was a bit thrilling, and the other years were calm. Perhaps Bayern fans will no longer doubt the team's exclusive rights to the Bundesliga championship. What they look forward to every year is to win the championship earlier, and then shift their focus to the Champions League. Not only in Germany, but also in the European war, Bayern has had many glorious histories. Bayern Munich has won 6 Champions League championships and 4 Club World Cup championships, and there are countless other lesser-known champions. Although Bayern Munich is only second in the league now, no team in the Bundesliga dares to underestimate this opponent. In the tactical analysis room of Schalke 04, Tedesco introduced Bayern's lineup for this season to the players. Advertisement. Although Bayern did not invest a penny in the transfer window this summer, Bayern still gained 2 German internationals born in 1995. Gnabry returned on loan from Hoffenheim, while Goretzka joined on a free agent basis. The former improved significantly under Nagelsmann last season, scoring 10 goals and 7 assists in the Bundesliga. Not only that, he was also developed by Nashue with multi-position attributes. In Bayern's pre-season, coach Kovac even used him as a right back. Goretzka is young and mature. At the age of 23, he has played in the Bundesliga for 5 seasons in Schalke 04. He regards himself as the 8th position and can also play multiple positions in the midfield. In addition to the joining of the 2 giants, the strength of Bayern's own team should not be underestimated. There are Scarman Frank Ribery on the front line, world footballer Lewandowski, Erway Müller, and the Dutch veteran Arjen Robben. Even Wagner, who has been sitting on the bench for a long time, is a long-established veteran. In terms of midfield, even though Bayern had already sent Vidal to Barcelona before the start of the season, there are still plenty of talents. Ronaldo, Thiago, Goretzka, just listening to the names makes people feel scalp tingling. If Bayern were only strong in the midfield, then Tedesco might not be so worried. After all, with Lin Chen, it would be a big deal to fight Bayern with real knives and guns. But Bayern's defense is also very strong. Central defenders Hummels, Boateng, fullbacks Alaba and Kimmich, no matter which one is singled out, they are all defensive players. Goalkeeper Neuer is an old acquaintance of Schalke fans. In the analysis room, the players of Schalke 04 listened to Tedesco's analysis introduction with serious faces. Seeing the tense atmosphere in the team, Tedesco immediately put down the tactical board in his hand, pointed at Lin Chen and said, "Although Bayern is very strong, it is not impossible to beat him. You just need to try to pass the ball to Lin Chen and create chances for Lin Chen to shoot." Advertisement. I believe that the victory of this game must belong to us. When the players heard what the head coach said, they turned their heads to look at Lin Chen. Yup. The top scorer in the Bundesliga is now in our team. Lewandowski scored more than a dozen goals behind the second-placed Lewandowski. What's more, the state of Bayern, which has just been impacted by the international match day, may not be as good as Schalke, which has been recuperating for 2 weeks. Thinking of this, the Schalke 04 players regained their confidence. This battle for the top spot has attracted a lot of media attention before the game. After all, no matter which league, this kind of traditional hegemon and upstart are the focus of battle. Although Schalke 04 currently ranks first in the league with a 2-point advantage, Bayern, which is stronger, is more favored by people. Hwaguo fans also made some predictions for this game. Even though most of them are Lin Chen's fans, facing the Bundesliga overlord Bayern, Hwaguo fans are not optimistic about Schalke 04's victory in this game. After all, football is a team sport. Except for Lin Chen, the hard power of Schalke 04 players is much worse than that of Bayern. Soon the time came to October 22. Schalke 04 hosts Bayern Munich. In this battle for the top spot in the league, whoever wins is the top spot. Chapter 63. Game Day. Hwaguo started the live broadcast early on. The game originally started at 6:30, but Sports 5 started the live broadcast at 4 p.m. Shen Jian and Tao Jun also serve as commentators for this game. Looking at the starting roster just released, Shen Jian introduced it to the fans one by one. Although it has just gone through the international match day, Bayern's starting list has not changed much. It can be seen that Kovac also attaches great importance to this battle for the top spot. This is still a 433 formation. Bayern's strikers are Ribery, Lewandowski and Erway Müller. The midfield is Ronaldo, Thiago and Goretzka, Alaba, Hummels, Süle and Kimmich lined up in the defense, with goalkeeper Neuer behind him. It is a pity that due to previous injuries, French teenager Koeman and midfielder Tolisso also failed to play in this game. Let's look at Schalke 04's starting lineup. Facing the Bundesliga overlord Bayern, Tedesco didn't dare to be too big in this game, and directly put on a 3,421 iron bucket formation. There are 7 defenders placed at the front of the penalty area. The midfield is played by McKennie with Markut. The only single arrow is naturally our Lin Chen. It can be seen that Tedesco has high hopes for Lin Chen. I hope Lin Chen can continue his scoring efficiency in this game. Of course we also hope that both sides can present a wonderful duel to the fans in this game. With the hour hand pointing to 6:30. The game has also officially started. In the player tunnel, Lin Chen listened to the field host outside the Velten Stadium broadcasting the player list. The Schalke 04 players naturally received the warmest cheers. But when the host read Neuer, there were boos in the stadium. It is undeniable that Neuer has indeed given Schalke fans an unforgettable memory. Although Schalke fans love Neuer deeply, Schalke fans still can't understand Neuer's transfer to Bayern. Advertisement: they don't want a Schalke person to go to Munich, and they can't accept Neuer into the arms of Bayern. As the saying goes, as deep as love is, so deep is hatred. When Neuer joined Bayern, he became a traitor of Schalke 04, and various abuse and attacks followed. Where there is hate, there is also love. When Lin Chen walked out of the player tunnel, the entire stadium erupted like landslides and ground cracks. All the fans in the Velten Stadium were shouting Lin Chen's name. At this time, everyone noticed a giant tifo rising slowly from the north stand. The dark blue jersey fluttered in the wind, and a player ran forward with his left hand raised high, while his right hand was stroking the team emblem on his chest. In addition, the number 36 Lin Chen is imprinted on the chest. Call. Lin Chen. Call. Lin Chen. At the same time as the giant tifo was raised, the cheers of the Vikings resounded throughout the Velten Stadium. Seeing the scene next time, the Bayern players stood on the pitch and gasped. The atmosphere at home was not inferior to that of the Allianz Arena, or even better. What Bayern players envy most is the protagonist of the giant tifo. Lin Chen. It is hard for them to imagine that a Hwaguo player who turned 18 could receive such courtesy at the Velten Stadium. Of course, the one with the most complicated mood is Neuer. Sports 5, Sports 5, now we are bringing you the 8th round of the Bundesliga. Schalke 04's home game against Bayern Munich's top spot match. Wearing blue on top and white on top is Schalke 04 and red is Bayern Munich. With the whistle of the referee, the game officially kicked off. After kickoff, Lin Chen made the first pass to McKennie. The players on both sides also opened up the formation. Advertisement: McKennie catches the ball and throws a long pass. Where is this ball going? It's Lin Chen. Lin Chen is running to where the ball lands with all his strength. Hummels and Süle saw the danger, the two players wanted to pinch Lin Chen left and right. What? Lin Chen actually knocked Hummels and Jewel away with his body. The referee did not sound the whistle, but signaled that the attack is favorable. Continue the game. Lin Chen got the ball. He's walking towards the penalty area. Neuer strikes. Lin Chen was forced by Neuer and had to dribble towards the edge of the box. Lin Chen has reached the edge of the small penalty area, and there will be no angle if he doesn't kick his feet. Lin Chen suddenly kicked and shot. Neuer didn't react in time, the ball passed under Neuer's ribs. The ball goes into the net. The ball goes in. 1-0. Just at the beginning, Lin Chen opened the scoring for Schalke 04. When Lin Chen scored a goal, some attentive fans noticed that only 15 seconds had passed. It's an opening blitz. After Lin Chen scored the goal, he ran back and hugged McKennie, who came to celebrate. Then McKennie held Lin Chen on top of his head and punched the fans in the stands to celebrate. In the Velton Stadium, which was just about to calm down, violent shouts broke out again. PS, TAT, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data. Chapter 64. Lin Chen scored the goal with the first kick. No one predicted this situation before the game. Facing the powerful Bayern, Lin Chen chose to use his own way to help the team win this game. Tedesco was dumbfounded, and Kovacs was also dumbfounded. What's the situation? Goal in the opening game. Neuer fished the ball out of the net and kicked the ball into the center of the field angrily. The game starts again. Bayern's players quickly adjusted their status, and Bayern immediately took advantage of the field with a skillful pass and control style of play. Despite taking the lead, Schalke also played very hard against Bayern. It was difficult for McKennie and Rudy in the midfield to grab the ball from the opponent's feet, and the team could only be forced to shrink to their own half for defense. For Bayern, Ribery on the left was very active, frequently launching raids on the left. But Tedesco's defensive strategy is very clear. Both Ribery and Müller can be allowed to cut inside, but Bayern must not be allowed to pass from the bottom. Schalke's two defenders Neldo and Sarif also strictly followed the head coach's requirements. Mainly because Lewandowski's header threat was too great, Tedesco had to abandon the wing to defend the center line with all his strength. After holding on for 16 minutes, Schalke 04 got a chance to counterattack and shot the team's second shot of the game. But Makut, who shot this time, didn't find a good shooting angle. Facing Hummels' marking, he directly kicked the anti-aircraft gun and kicked the ball towards the stands, which failed to create a threat at all. Tedesco was a little dissatisfied with the handling of the ball by Makut, and loudly signaled the players on the sidelines to give the ball to Lin Chen as much as possible. Schalke fans are also very sorry that this shot failed to pose a threat, but the fans are not worried. After all, there is Lin Chen, the top scorer in the Bundesliga. As long as Lin Chen is given a chance, he will definitely score a goal. The game came to 30 minutes, although the score was still maintained at 1-0. Advertisement. But Schalke 04 not only lagged behind their opponents in possession of the ball, but also failed to counterattack. At present, there are only 2 shots from Lin Chen and Markut. The passivity and embarrassment on the scene can be seen, but in any case, the team still held the lead. Probably because Schalke 04's players defended Bayern's crazy attack after the opening. It is also possible that Bayern saw that several attacks failed to work and slowed down the pace of the game. This allowed Schalke's players to relax. The players of Schalke 04 also started to try to send the ball up the field to help Lin Chen get the ball. But just when the fans thought that Schalke 04 was about to blow the horn of counterattack, Bayern Munich suddenly succeeded in stealing the ball. When McKennie wanted to give the ball to Lin Chen with a short pass, Thiago directly cut off McKennie's pass. Then Thiago quickly passed the ball behind the defense line with a straight kick, and Ribery quickly inserted and got the ball. Since the players of Schalke 04 were in the transition from offense to defense, Ribery's forward penetration caused a flaw in Schalke's defense for a moment. Caligiuri failed to intercept Ribery's bottoming advance in the first place. Danger! Schalke fans also noticed that it didn't take a second. This was the first time Ribery came near the corner when he was unmarked. Ribery completely tore through Schalke's defense, then made a cross and kicked the ball to the goal. At the landing point, Lewandowski also overwhelmed Ronaldo and scored the header. 1-1. Bayern equalized the score. The source of all this is that McKennie's pass near the center circle was intercepted by Thiago. In just a few tenths of seconds, Bayern seized the opportunity and launched this attack. With just one mistake, Bayern scored a goal and equalized the score. Bundesliga giants Bayern have finally revealed their fearsome fangs. In the live broadcast, Lewandowski and Ribery hugged and celebrated together, and then the camera showed Lin Chen near the middle circle. Advertisement. The meaning of this is self-evident. A duel between the best centers in the Bundesliga. It is also a duel between the old king and the new rich. Hwaguo fans also noticed the director's camera language, but Hwaguo fans didn't feel that the director was deliberately targeting Lin Chen, but thought it was a compliment to Lin Chen. After all, Lewandowski is a long-established player. Comparing the fledgling Lin Chen with him is undoubtedly an affirmation of Lin Chen's strength. After kick-off again, Bayern became more and more courageous. Müller and Ribery attacked Schalke's defense continuously. Facing another wave of crazy attacks, Schalke had no choice but to return to their own half to strengthen their defense. Seeing how difficult the team's defense was, Lin Chen frequently retreated to catch the ball to help the team relieve the pressure. Perhaps it was because Bayern felt that Schalke was determined after scoring a goal, and the entire formation was very high. When McKennie gave the ball to Lin Chen again, Jewel did not immediately come to mark Lin Chen. This gave Lin Chen time to adjust his posture. When Jewel stepped forward, Lin Chen was ready to charge forward. At this time, the two central defenders of Bayern realized that something was wrong and hurried forward to defend Lin Chen. But Hummels and Jewel didn't dare to play blindly. Before the game, the head coach told them that Lin Chen's dribbling skills are very good, so don't rush to grab. So the two just defended against Lin Chen, trying to squeeze Lin Chen out of the ball's control. But what I didn't expect was that Lin Chen's physical fitness was too strong. Facing the close defense of the two central defenders, Lin Chen directly smashed them away. Then Lin Chen broke into the penalty area, faced Neuer and directly shot the ball into the goal. The ball crashed into the net. 2-1. The score was overtaken again. Chapter 65. The long-suppressed emotions of the Schalke fans in the Velten Stadium completely broke out at this moment. After Lin Chen scored a goal, he rushed out of the field, stood on the billboard with open arms, and felt the fans' shouts. This time, it was the turn of the Bayern fans in the away fan area to be silent. As expected of Lin Chen. Once again, it showed great speed. Hummels looks extra bulky in front of Lin Chen. As long as he can create a chance for him, he can seize this opportunity and score the ball. In the live broadcast room of Sports Channel 5, Shen Jian was extremely excited and praised Lin Chen endlessly. In the comment area of the live broadcast room, Hwaguo fans also praised Lin Chen extremely. It's time to turn the tide and help the building. This is Lin Chen. There is only one champion in the Bundesliga, and that is Lin Chen. The 30-year-old Lewandowski stood on the court and looked at Lin Chen, his eyes were full of his shadow. On the bench, Bayern Bishop Kovac opened his eyes wide at this time, unable to believe the scene in front of him. It was such a chance that was not considered a chance, but Lin Chen got it and successfully scored a goal. 2 shots, 2 goals? Even the peak Lewandowski may not have such a scoring efficiency. Tedesco was not surprised at all when he saw Lin Chen rushing out. Tedesco already thought that the goal had been scored. No way. In Tedesco's mind, Lin Chen is that strong. The game continues. Bayern was obviously very dissatisfied with the score being overtaken, and launched wave after wave of offensives again. Advertisement. Except for Kovac, who kept the two defenders Hummels and Süle in the backcourt to defend Lin Chen, all other players were piled up in Schalke's half. At this time, the time has come to 39 minutes, and Tedesco is not going to continue to launch a counterattack, so that the players will try their best to defend Bayern's offense. It was also difficult for Bayern to break through Schalke 04's defense for a while, and the offensive effect was minimal. Time passed slowly, just as the first half was about to end. Frank Ribery missed a pass and was intercepted by defender Sarif and kicked the ball out of the baseline. Corner. Bayern coach Kovac signaled his players to press forward and make good use of this corner kick. Alba sent a corner kick, but unfortunately, the ball was ejected by Naldo in the first point, and Rudy quickly reacted and controlled the ball under his feet. Rudy observed the situation on the field for the first time. At this time, most of Bayern's players were still in the penalty area, and Hummels and Süle were two central defenders behind the backcourt. And Lin Chen did not participate in this corner kick defense, but has been cruising near the center circle. Rudy also noticed this change. After seeing Lin Chen's signal, he directly kicked the ball to Bayern's half with a long pass. But this kick was so powerful that the ball continued to fly more than 10 meters past the midfield line. Another over-the-top straight plug. However, the point of the ball seems to be too far ahead. Can Lin Chen seize this opportunity? Just when the commentator doubted whether Lin Chen could seize this opportunity, Lin Chen directly jumped over Hummels, who was returning to the defense, and rushed towards the opponent's half. Although the latter reacted immediately, it was still a bit difficult for Hummels compared to Lin Chen's speed. Lin Chen was at full speed at this time and grabbed the ball before Bayern's defenders. Single knife. Lin Chen used his speed to throw away the Bayern player who was returning to defense. Facing Neuer, how will Lin Chen choose? Perhaps due to habit, Neuer moved forward and prepared to attack before Lin Chen touched the ball. Lin Chen looked at Neuer, who was rushing towards him, and directly changed direction and accelerated. Advertisement Neuer was also swayed by Lin Chen's sudden shift, and he went straight to the ground and opened his arms to intercept the shot. Neuer has made a pounce. But Lin Chen didn't seem to choose to hit the door directly. As the narrator puts it, after Lin Chen passed Neuer, he didn't choose to hit the goal, but just made a feint, and then continued to dribble forward. At this time, Neuer, who was already on the ground, was already powerless to intercept Lin Chen. Lin Chen swayed past Neuer, who was attacking. At this moment, there is only an empty goal in front of Lin Chen. Without the slightest hesitation, Lin Chen directly pushed the ball into the goal with a light push. At the end of the first half, Lin Chen scored another goal. At the same time, Lin Chen also completed a hat-trick. Facing the mighty Bayern, Lin Chen is not timid, and continued the previous scoring efficiency, and staged a hat-trick in just half-time. In just half-time, Schalke led Bayern by 2 goals. The Schalke fans are already celebrating the goal. And in the away fan area of the Velten Stadium, Bayern fans watch the score displayed on the big screen. 3-1. Leading by 2 goals at half-time. This made the Bayern fans feel very uncomfortable. When will they see Bayern being beaten like this? Bayern fans now even think that maybe it is normal to turn the score around. Chapter 66. Seeing Lin Chen scoring again, Tedesco raised his arms high. The Schalke players also flocked to Lin Chen to celebrate the goal. Although Tedesco had high hopes for Lin Chen before the game, facing the mighty Bayern, Tedesco was not fully sure that he could win against Bayern. Before the game, the media was not optimistic about Schalke 04's victory. The Schalke players also had some doubts about what the head coach said. Can Lin Chen really do it? After all, that is the Bundesliga giant Bayern. But Lin Chen's performance far exceeded Tedesco's expectations. Leading by 2 goals in less than half-time. At this moment, the emotions of the Schalke players were completely released. But only half-time, Lin Chen scored another hat-trick. Seeing the Bayern fans who fell behind in the score was very bitter, and then they were even more shocked by Lin Chen's performance, a high center forward. Not only is his physical fitness abnormal, but his ability to grab points is outstanding, even his speed is so fast. The first half is over. Bayern failed to score in the final minutes. In the end, the score in the first half was fixed at 3-1. Schalke 04 locker room. Tedesco praised Lin Chen unreservedly. It's unbelievable that you scored a hat-trick in just half-time. Originally, I thought this game would be very difficult, but the score now is really unexpected. The players also said that Lin Chen was too good, and Rudy told the players about the goal just now. In the end, I really passed the ball too big, but I didn't expect Lin Chen to catch up. But Lin Chen's speed is too fast. I can't believe my eyes. Faced with the praise from the head coach and players, Lin Chen is not complacent, because he knew that Bayern could never just let it go. After the start of the second half, advertisement not long after the start, Kavak adjusted his formation and replaced Boateng with Grichka. Kavak replaced a midfielder with a defender. What does this mean? Is he about to raise his hands and surrender? The commentary was a little strange about Bayern's substitution choice, but subsequent developments have verified that Kovac's substitution was correct. These substitutions directly piled up 3 central defenders in the backcourt. It directly limits Lin Chen's breakthrough route, and can also cut off the passing route of Schalke players and Lin Chen. In this way, the 2 fullbacks Alaba and Kimmich were liberated, and they could break into the front court more frequently to help the team attack. So a strange scene appeared on the field. Bayern's 3 central defenders surrounded Lin Chen near the center circle, Hummels and Jewel trailed behind, and Boateng defended Lin Chen closely. The trio seemed to be in a different world from the Bayern players who were attacking Schalke's goal in the front court. Huguo fans also laughed out loud after seeing it. What kind of treatment is this? Let the powerful Bayern have to sacrifice 3 players to defend Lin Chen. But Kovac's tactics did work. It became more and more difficult for Lin Chen to get the ball on the court, and it was also difficult to help the team relieve the defensive pressure. Under Bayern's successive onslaughts, Schalke's defense finally showed flaws. 75th minute. After Thiago took the ball, he directly transferred the ball to Muller's feet on the right. Facing this extremely threatening winger, Schalke's players did not dare to be careless. Skepf and Nastaska stepped forward to defend. But I didn't expect that Muller pretended to break through, shook off the two Schalke players, and then directly kicked the cross. The target is Lewandowski. At this time, there are only Naldo and Salif in the penalty area, and Salif is still relatively far away from Lewandowski. Lewandowski seized the opportunity and grabbed the ball directly before Naldo, and the ball went straight to the upper left corner of the goal. Seeing this, Captain Fairman hurriedly wanted to hold out with one arm, but he still didn't touch the ball. Bayern's attack has finally paid off. Lewandowski's header was brilliant. On the Bayern coaching bench, Kovac also let his heart hang down a little. Tedesco was a little entangled. He originally planned to replace Lin Chen in a while and use a defender to strengthen his defense. But now that Bayern scored another goal, Tedesco began to be a little uncertain. Advertisement: if Lin Chen is replaced now, the team will have no ability to counterattack at all. On the field, Lin Chen also felt a little regretful that he couldn't defend the ball. But then it is also understandable. After all, facing Bayern, even if it is a top team, they dare not be fully sure that they can defend his offense. Seeing this, Lin Chen had no choice but to wait patiently for the opportunity. But Bayern's offensive is far from over. After all, the team is still one goal behind. In the 85th minute, Muller received another pass from Thiago and scored directly past the bulky Naldo. 3-3. Muller successfully equalized the game. Now it was Tedesco's turn to get nervous. Of course, Bayern Bishop Kovac was not completely relieved. After all, he didn't want a draw. At the last moment, Bayern launched an offensive frantically, and even the three defenders who had been guarding Lin Chen began to gradually participate in the attack. Schalke's players also noticed the change and passed the ball directly to Lin Chen after McKennie broke the ball. At this time, there was only Jewel beside Lin Chen. Lin Chen started to speed up directly, trying to pass Jewel with his speed. Seeing this, Bayern felt bad and hurried back to chase Lin Chen. Just as Lin Chen fell into the defensive circle of the Bayern defender, Markuth directly accelerated on the wing and had already reached the vicinity of the penalty area. Lin Chen also gave the ball directly to Makut without hesitation. After the latter received the ball, only Neuer, who was attacking, was left in front of him, and Markuth directly hit the goal. But unfortunately, Neuer punched him out. Just as the Bayern fans were breathing a sigh of relief, Lin Chen suddenly broke out from the double team, and then made a vigorous shot. The ball crashed into the net. 4-3. 90 minutes. Lin Chen kills Bayern. Chapter 67. The ball has been scored. Lin Chen scored another goal against Neuer. This time Lin Chen passed the ball to Makut and the last shot was perfect. The time is about to enter stoppage time. Bayern has no chance to overtake the score. Lin Chen completely killed the game. I believe that today, the nights of many Hyuxia fans will not be in vain. Witnessed with my own eyes that Lin Chen directly defeated the mighty Bayern. Let's celebrate Lin Chen's Big Four again. Congratulations again to Schalke 04 over visiting Bayern Munich. At the same time when Lin Chen scored the winning goal, the Velten Stadium was completely in a carnival. Now there is only stoppage time left before the end of the game, and the game can basically be declared over. After Lin Chen scored the goal, he faced countless fans shouting his name hoarsely. He ran directly to the north stand and got down on a kneeling slide. Then Lin Chen stood up, took off his jersey directly, and raised his jersey with one hand to signal to the fans. All the cameras were aimed at Lin Chen, and the flashlights of countless media reporters focused on Lin Chen. At this moment, Lin Chen is the new king of Velten Stadium. Countless fans who are watching this Bundesliga focus match know this Hwaguo teenager. I don't know how many of you know that Lin Chen is a hero in Daxia. This kind of hero is beyond your imagination. It's hard to believe that such a player is from Hwaguo, a country with weak football. I believe that many people have thoroughly known Lin Chen in today's competition. The official commentator of the Bundesliga also admires Lin Chen's performance very much. Countless fans of Lin Chen posted on social media to commemorate this moment. Before I only knew that Lin Chen was a good abuser, but I didn't expect that he would still play steadily when he met Bayern. It's so exciting. In the Bundesliga, when have you ever seen a team that can really win against Bayern? It's so cool. Lin Chen's celebration at the end really made people's blood boil. What attracts Lin Chen the most is naturally the picture of undressing and celebrating. Of course, Lin Chen, who finally took off his clothes to celebrate, also got the first yellow card warning in his life. The game starts again. After the Bayern player sent the ball, the referee blew the whistle to end the game. Schalke 04 won the battle for the top spot. Advertisement violent celebrations broke out again at the Velten Stadium. At this time, some fans even rushed into the stadium, wanting to hug Lin Chen, but luckily they were stopped by the security personnel of the stadium. But looking at the increasingly restless fans, the security personnel did not dare to be careless, and hurriedly signaled the Schalke players to enter the player tunnel. Post-match interview. Bayern coach Kovac was naturally besieged by the media, who asked the Croatian coach what he thought of today's game result. Kovac, who was in an extremely bad mood, faced the reporters' questioning, but said this to the camera helplessly. I can only say that I am very unlucky. In fact, we are fully capable of winning this game, but the process was somewhat unsatisfactory, which made us lose the game. Maybe we didn't lose to Schalke 04, but to Lin Chen. Lost to Lin Chen. Perhaps Kovac's speech was exaggerated, but Lin Chen's role in this game is obvious. Without Lin Chen, Schalke 04 is likely to suffer a big defeat at home. At the same time, Tedesco naturally praised Lin Chen again. Afterwards, Tedesco sighed in front of the media. It would be great if we could buy out Lin Chen. If Lin Chen is there, the team has great confidence to make a breakthrough in the Champions League. The media was a little surprised that Tedesco would have such a view of Lin Chen. The best result in Schalke's 04 history is undoubtedly the beginning of the 10-11th season. In that year, Schalke 04 introduced players such as Raul and Huntelaar, and the strength of the minors team went to a higher level. In the UEFA Champions League this season, Schalke 04 also successfully broke into the top 8. And Tedesco actually thought that with Lin Chen, he could reach the semi-finals. After the game, the media released the game reports and interviews one after another, and posted articles on social platforms to report on this Bundesliga focus game. Among them, the most eye-catching one is naturally Lin Chen, who staged the Big Four. Facing the mighty Bayern, the giant of the Bundesliga, Lin Chen still maintains his terrifying scoring efficiency. At this moment, Lin Chen is completely popular in the entire Bundesliga, and there is no fan who does not know Lin Chen. The city of Gelsenkirchen, where Schalke is located, has fallen into madness. Numerous Mine fans flocked to the streets to celebrate the victory of the battle for the top spot. At this point in the standings, Schalke 04 has already led Bayern by a full 5 points. Advertisement the next day. After a short period of excitement, the Schalke 04 players calmed down and started preparing for the game. Because 3 days later, the team will usher in the third opponent in the Champions League group stage, Galatasaray. Although Galatasaray is only a team in the Turkish Super League, its strength should not be underestimated. In the previous 2 games, Galatasaray tied for first place in the group with 1 win and 1 tie with Schalke 04. It can be said that whoever wins this game will take the initiative to qualify for the group. Galatasaray's home court is also the home of the famous Devils in the Turkish Super League, and Schalke's away game will definitely be affected. And Lin Chen will not be able to play in the next game. Facing the game without Lin Chen, Schalke 04 had to prepare with all their energy. The time came to October 24. Schalke 04 is also an expedition to Galatasaray. In the team's training base, apart from some players from the second team, Lin Chen was the only one who was training silently. Lin Chen checked his accumulated attribute points. In addition to the 4 goals against Bayern in the last game, 12 attribute points have been accumulated at this time. Lin Chen directly added the attribute value to physical strength without hesitation. After several full games, Lin Chen also found that his physical strength of 75 was not enough. The last game against Bayern was because Bayern was playing against Schalke the whole time. Lin Chen, who has been cruising in the middle circle, saved his energy for the final counterattack. If you want to play against a strong team like Bayern, Lin Chen's 75's physical strength will naturally not be able to last the game. After adding points, Lin Chen glanced at the attribute value. Body, 100, physical strength, 87, breakthrough, 50, dribbling, 95 shots, 70, speed, 92 defense, 30. Now Lin Chen is already pretty good overall except for the relatively low breakthrough value. After training in the afternoon, Lin Chen suddenly received a call from Per. Per told Lin Chen that he had received an invitation from Spain. And the inviter was Florentino. Chapter 68. Invitation from the president of Real Madrid. Perhaps Florentino had guessed that Lin Chen hadn't played during this period, so he directly sent an invitation letter to Lin Chen. Lin Chen thought for a while, and then decided to go to Madrid with Per. October 26. After Lin Chen and Per landed in Madrid, Real Madrid staff came to pick them up. Afterwards, the two attended a banquet hosted by Florentino under the reception of the staff. Florentino obviously attaches great importance to Lin Chen, and specially held a welcome party to welcome Lin Chen. During the banquet, Lin Chen also met coach Raul and chairman Florentino again. After the banquet, Real Madrid vice president Emilio found Lin Chen and Per in person. It's really unexpected, the young man who was in Castillo a few months ago is killing all directions in the Bundesliga today. Emilio should not be too familiar with Lin Chen. He was the one who operated Lin Chen on loan to Schalke 04. At that time, Emilio still couldn't understand why Raul would take such a fancy to an 18-year-old youth player, even though Lin Chen was extremely brave in the West Division B field at that time. Even though Bayern paid €10 million and 40% of the transfer share at that time, they still refused to sell Lin Chen. When I saw Lin Chen now, Lin Chen was already the top scorer in the Bundesliga. 26 goals in 8 games. What kind of horror data at this time? Emilio is extremely grateful for Raul's decision not to sell Lin Chen. Long time no see, Mr. Emilio. Lin Chen responded to Emilio with a smile. After a short hello, Emilio cut straight to the point. Lin Chen, would you like to return to Real Madrid? Advertisement. Emilio's inquiry is full of caution. After all, Lin Chen is only in Real Madrid's youth training contract now. If Lin Chen is unwilling to return to Real Madrid, there are teams that can take Lin Chen away with money at any time. So now Lin Chen's attitude is crucial. Since I agreed to Chairman Florentino's invitation, it represents my attitude. As for when to come back, I want to wait until the winter window. Although there is a decision in the contract that can be recalled at any time, I still want to play the full half of the season for Schalke 04. Lin Chen thought for a while and then said. Emilio obviously did not expect Lin Chen to agree so quickly, and originally thought that there would be a heated discussion this time. It seems that Lin Chen still has a lot of affection for Real Madrid. After the conversation with Emilio, Lin Chen directly arranged for Per to be responsible for the specific contract matters. The next day, Per approached Lin Chen and explained the details of the new contract. Annual salary, 800W euros, weekly salary, 15W euros. Signature fee, 10 million euros. This salary is quite reasonable, and the signing fee also makes Per very satisfied. After all, when Manchester City renewed the contract of the team's ace player De Bruyne last year, they only gave a signing fee of 10 million euros. In fact, with Lin Chen's current performance, he can sign a new and higher contract, but since the two parties have a big discrepancy in terms of the contract period, they can only make a compromise in terms of salary. For an amazingly talented player like Lin Chen, Real Madrid naturally hoped to be firmly tied. So Emilio asked to sign Lin Chen for 3 + 2 years from the very beginning. 5 years. Per was shocked to hear this request. With Lin Chen's current potential, it is naturally impossible to sign this contract with Real Madrid. Naturally, Per could not agree to this request, so Per also directly opened his mouth to sign a 1-year contract. In the end, the two sides pulled it off and decided to sign a 2-year contract. Advertisement. Other aspects such as goals, championships, number of appearances, etc. are also given a more reasonable reward. The reason why Real Madrid can make such a big concession is inseparable from Real Madrid's recent record. Since losing to CSKA Moscow in the last round of the group stage, Real Madrid has suffered 2 consecutive losses in the league. Even against a team like Levante, Real Madrid still failed to win 1-2. This defeat would be a disgrace to Real Madrid, if it weren't for defender Marcelo's goal. In addition to the previous games, Real Madrid has not scored a goal in 492 consecutive minutes in all competitions. This has not been the case since Real Madrid's founding in 1902. After losing Ronaldo, Real Madrid's current frontline problems need to be solved urgently. After reading the contract, Lin Chen was quite satisfied, and immediately signed the contract with Emilio. Since Lin Chen wanted to help Schalke 04 play half the season, the two sides decided to wait until the winter window to make an official announcement. After signing the contract, Per sent Lin Chen to the airport. At the same time, Perret also wished Lin Chen a better performance in the Bundesliga. Then Lin Chen returned directly to Schalke. At this time, Schalke 04 had finished the third round of the Champions League group stage and returned from Turkey. But the final result was somewhat unsatisfactory. Schalke 04 seems to be suffering from Lin Chen dependence. Without Lin Chen, the team will not play football. Although Schalke 04 took the initiative on the scene, they failed to make a threatening attack throughout the game. In the end, Schalke 04 also drew 0-0 with Galatasaray, leaving the suspense of qualifying to the next stage of the group stage. 2 days after Lin Chen returned to the team, Schalke ushered in the opponent of the 9 rounds of the Bundesliga, RB Leipzig. At the same time, the system also prompts Lin Chen to obtain a new task. System task: 9 consecutive victories, not completed. Chapter 69. If we talk about a rookie in the Bundesliga, it is undoubtedly RB Leipzig. This season is the third season for the Red Bulls to play in the Bundesliga. When Leipzig was just promoted to the Bundesliga the year before last, they directly won the league runner-up. Since they only finished 6th last season, Red Bull must start from the second round of the Europa League qualifying round. This means that they have to play 6 more official games than other Bundesliga teams. Red Bull, which started the season very early, has a more mature team. RB Leipzig have scored 12 goals at home this season ahead of Sunday's match against Schalke 04. In the previous 8 rounds of the league, Leipzig only lost to Dortmund 1-4 in the first round. The team has remained unbeaten in the last 6 games with 5 wins and 1 draw. The overall state is very hot. In addition, last season's duel is still fresh in the memory. In January Schalke lost 3-1 away to Leipzig. Before the game, Leipzig coach Rangnick told the media, "This is a contest against top opponents, they are ranked first in the league, and their offense and defense are top. We have to create more chances than last time to win the game." October 28. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Schalke's away game against RB Leipzig officially begins. Sports Channel 5 also introduced the starting lineups of both sides to the fans. In this game, Schalke 04 still continued the previous lineup of 3,421, with Lin Chen as the single arrow. For Leipzig, due to the injury of Swedish international Forsberg, Leipzig is not allowed to change, with Werner and Poulsen as the double forwards. Shortly after the start of the game, Leipzig seized a Schalke 04 error from the rear. Perhaps the intensive schedule made Schalke's players a little out of shape. Caligiuri made a return pass from the backcourt and was directly intercepted by Werner, who broke into the penalty area and scored the goal. In just the 4th minute, Leipzig scored a goal, which made everyone unexpected. The fans of the Red Bull Arena were also taken aback. This is a goal. Schalke 04 was scored just like that. When the score on the big screen showed 1-0, the Leipzig fans then erupted into a violent celebration. Rangnick couldn't believe that the advantage came so quickly. Facing Schalke, which has won 8 consecutive league victories, they thought it would be a fierce battle. Tedesco frowned and looked at the players on the field. Advertisement: he also knows that the recent games have been too intensive, and the players may experience some fatigue. But such low-level mistakes are absolutely intolerable. Focus. It's a game now. It's not a training game. After Tedesco shouted on the sidelines, he went directly to the coach's bench and sat down. From his point of view, all the tactics that can be explained now have been explained. The specific result depends on the performance of the players. Reti. The players of Schalke 04 also realized that the opponent is not a soft persimmon, and they cheered up and continued the game. 7th minute. Zelda then tapped McNee after snatching a pass from Leipzig midfielder Sabitzer. At the same time, Lin Chen immediately turned around and ran forward. "Pass the ball." McNee didn't hesitate when he heard the words, and directly kicked the ball to Lin Chen's feet. The Leipzig players also noticed the danger, and the defensive midfielder Il Sonk approached Lin Chen for the first time. Although Lin Chen's physical fitness was famously strong before, the Austrian veteran is also known for his strong physical fitness. Therefore, Il Sonk did not wait for his teammates to double-team Lin Chen according to the instructions of the head coach. As soon as he rushed to Lin Chen's side, Il Sonk wanted to use his body to knock Lin Chen away. "But I didn't expect that." Lin Chen just wobbled a little bit, and then continued to dribble forward. Erdhank collided with Lin Chen with real swords and guns when he came up. But it seems that Lin Chen has not been affected at all, but Il Sonk is a little bit unsteady. Didn't the head coach of Leipzig arrange tactics before the game? It's a dream to compete with Lin Chen. After getting rid of Ilsanki, the two defenders of Leipzig Juppe and Halstenberg appeared in front of Lin Chen. At this time, Makut and Embolo had already plugged in from both sides at high speed. Lin Chen took a look at the form and passed the ball diagonally to Makut before facing the defense. After receiving the ball, the latter swayed left and right for a while, trying to break into the penalty area from the sideline. When Juppe saw the change, he hurried to defend Makut with Halstenberg. At this time, advertisement Makut suddenly passed the ball to Lin Chen at the top of the arc in the penalty area. At this time, Juppe and Halstenberg on the right are far away from Lin Chen, and the other central defender, Wei Li, is attracted by Embolo's breakthrough into the penalty area. There is a big hole in Leipzig's defense. As soon as Lin Chen received the ball, Ilsanki discovered this problem. But at this time, Ilsanki was still behind Lin Chen, seeing that Lin Chen was about to speed up after receiving the ball. Ilsanki didn't hesitate any longer, and directly tackled the ball from behind Lin Chen. Since it was a tackle coming from behind, Lin Chen didn't notice this action at the first time. So when Ilsanki's right foot shoveled to Lin Chen's feet, Lin Chen happened to be in a state of accelerating forward. The fast-moving feet just collided with Ilsanki's right foot. My God! Shoveling someone from behind. This is a dangerous move. After a huge force hit, Lin Chen's body instantly lost his balance. Well! The fans in the Red Ball Arena also noticed this action, and they all exclaimed. On the sidelines, Tedesco rushed to the sidelines immediately after seeing Ilsanki's intentions, yelling and signaling to the referee that this was a bad foul. But Tedesco immediately saw that Lin Chen, who was staggering and about to fall to the ground, regained his balance. On the other hand, Ilsanki, who was shoveling people, was lying on the ground, hugging his feet and howling. What's going on? You hurt yourself with a shovel. Regardless of doubts, at this time the referee directly moved his arms forward to indicate that the attack is beneficial, and continued the game. Lin Chen, who was in the penalty area suddenly, did not hesitate to face the goalkeeper Gulisic, and directly blasted the goal vigorously. 1-1. Lin Chen equalized the score. Only then did everyone have time to notice the pained Ildhank lying on the ground. Stretcher. Leipzig captain Willi found that Ilsanki was injured himself, and hurriedly called the medical staff to carry Ilsanki down. After some examinations, the medical staff determined that Ilsanki could not continue the game. This put Rangnick in a difficult position. Just after taking the lead, they were equalized, and this time they lost another main midfielder. Rangnick could only be forced to use up one substitution, replacing Ilsanki with Klostermann. Chapter 70. Everyone was stunned when they saw that Ilsanki was injured and left the field. What is this? Did you shovel yourself and hurt yourself? In the stands, some Red Bull fans couldn't accept this result. Their main midfielder was injured just after the opening game. At this time, the live broadcast room of Sports 5. Lin Chen's physical fitness. It's amazing. Looking back in slow motion, Ilsanki's right foot collided with Lin Chen's left foot. However, Lin Chen just staggered slightly, while Ilsanki's right foot seemed to kick a wall. It's really a waste of money instead of stealing chickens. Ilsanki was also injured and left the field in the end. Hwaguo fans were also shocked by this scene. What's the situation? The Leipzig player shoveled himself. Lin Chen is like a robot, completely unaffected. Iron Man. The body is really too strong. Tedesco, who was yelling at the referee, suddenly shut up when he saw this scene. After seeing Ilsanki leave the field, Tedesco also specifically asked Lin Chen if he was injured. The answer is of course no. The game starts again. Since Lin Chen scored this goal, he has become more and more courageous. The Leipzig players started to lack confidence facing Lin Chen, and they were constantly broken by Lin Chen from the front. In the 35th minute, McKennie passed a through ball to Lin Chen again. Lin Chen then tricked the keeper with a scooped shot. But at the end of the first half, Lin Chen had scored twice. When the referee blew the whistle to end the first half, the players on both sides had obviously different emotions. The Schalke 04 players returned to the locker room talking and laughing, while Leipzig, who was playing at home, was downcast. Intermission. Tedesco asked Lin Chen if he wanted to play the full game. Advertisement. Now it looks like Leipzig is completely defenseless. Lin Chen thought for a while, and the team is only one goal ahead, so the advantage is not too big. And he still has the task of winning 9 consecutive victories. Lin Chen immediately decided to play the whole game. The Leipzig dressing room, on the other hand, was gloomy. Rangnick has just learned from the team doctor that Ilsanki has sprained his ankle and may be sidelined for about 2 weeks. This is simply very bad news for Leipzig, who is still competing in the Champions League. And the most important thing at the moment is how the team should play in the second half in the face of Lin Chen's rush. The second half begins quickly. In order to limit Lin Chen, Rangnick directly pulled the substituted Klose Coman to the back line. The entire formation is also shrunk to one's own half, leaving only Werner to fight back in front. However, this did not stop Lin Chen from scoring. 50 minutes. Taking advantage of the fact that Leipzig had just adjusted its formation and had no foothold, Schalke 04 launched an attack. Rudy made a straight pass over the top and delivered the ball accurately into the penalty area. Lin Chen threw off the defensive player and crossed into the penalty area diagonally from the right rib at the fastest speed, before the goalkeeper Gulisic attacked. With a direct kick, the ball passed directly behind goalkeeper Gurisic and crashed into the goal behind him. Lin Chen was also thrown to the ground by the attacking Gurisic. After rolling around, when Lin Chen knelt on the grass, he just saw the football bouncing in the goal line. Another goal. Hat-trick. Just at the beginning of the game, Lin Chen once again dealt a fatal blow to the lagging Leipzig. On the field, the Leipzig players who had just gathered their morale and prepared to attack were instantly overwhelmed by this goal. The Leipzig fans also became silent, and the fans didn't even know how to play the team to win the game. In the 70th minute, Lin Chen scored again with a header. Big 4. Have the Leipzig players completely lost their desire to play, and just want to end this bad game quickly? Advertisement. Rangnick looked at the Schalke 04 players who were celebrating, and sat back on the coach's bench a little weakly. When the cameras caught Rangnick, the Leipzig boss had a bitter look on his face. Is Rangnick going to give up the game completely? Facing Lin Chen, Leipzig couldn't think of a good way to limit him. Of course you can't blame Rangnick for this. After all, the mighty Bayern did not stop Lin Chen from scoring goals. Sports Channel 5, Shen Jian couldn't help but tease Rangnick when he saw Rangnick's expression. Until the 80th minute, Tedesco saw that there was no suspense in the game. Replace Lin Chen directly with Bergstaller, let him find the feeling of the game. In the end, Schalke 04 also relied on Lin Chen's goal to 4-1 after the game is over. A system prompt will follow. System task: 9 consecutive victories in the league, completed. Task reward: 10 attribute points, get a new attribute pass, 40 new attribute pass. Lin Chen was a little emotional. As a center forward, he still has this kind of attribute. Does this mean that he wants to develop on the route of being an all-around striker? Looking at the accumulated 14 attribute points, Lin Chen directly added them to physical strength and speed. After all, even if the pass is added now, it is only 54 points, the difference is not big. After adding points, the speed increased a little, and the physical attribute directly reached a full 100 points. After the victory over Leipzig, Schalke's players did not let up. Because the next Schalke 04 will usher in a derby. Dortmund. Chapter 71. The closer the two teams are, the deeper the enmity. Dortmund, Gelsenkirchen. These two cities, which are only 30 kilometers apart, created the hottest derby in German history. The derby between Schalke 04 and Dortmund is also known as the German Derby. The grievances between Schalke 04 and Dortmund can even be traced back to the 1950s. Although Schalke 04 has always been known as the miners' team, but in fact Dortmund is also a descendant of the miners. It's just that the Dortmund people developed rapidly by virtue of the advantages of the trade center. But in the eyes of the Gelsenkirchen people, Dortmund is undoubtedly a frivolous trader, like impurities in coal. This confrontational atmosphere was carried over to the pitch as well. The two teams had a lot of grievances in the confrontation in the previous 10 years. For example, in the 06/07 season, Dortmund personally killed Schalke's hope of reaching the top of the 04 league. This is Schalke 04's last 9 years and the most recent league title. To win a derby is to win a championship. Preventing the enemy from reaching the summit and reaching the summit by themselves are equally important in Dortmund's mind. Dortmund fans even rented a jet after the season. Over the sky of Gelsenkirchen, the banner, "Don't try to win the championship" banner. With Klopp taking charge of Dortmund in the 08/09 season, the derby in the Ruhr area became more intense. After witnessing the Ruhr derby with his own eyes, Klopp once told the media, "Never need to mobilize players before the Ruhr derby, all the players will perform exceptionally well in this game." Even using hot words such as goals, red and yellow cards, conflicts, and confrontation to describe the Ruhr Derby seems pale. There is even such an unwritten rule in Gelsenkirchen that it is best not to add yellow in urban construction. Even a yellow building, it will also be considered by Schalke 04 fans as a provocation to the city and the team. What does the Ruhr Derby mean? The German media gave a very specific answer: it means 2 weeks before the game. You will never read anything else from Dortmund, Gelsenkirchen media. Because now it's time for the derby. It means you can lose 5 games in a row, you can lose the title, just win the derby. All the fans will be happy and no one will blame you. He means that Bayern can win 100 championships, as long as the champion is not Dortmund or Schalke 04. He means that Bayern can take any of their players, as long as the destination is not Dortmund or Schalke 04. November 1, 6 p.m. Borussia Dortmund hosts Schalke 04 at the Westfalenstadion. Under the guidance of tactical Foxes Favre, Dortmund's record this season is also very good. In the previous 8 games, Dortmund only tied Hertha Berlin in the last round and is currently second in the league. In other words, if Dortmund wins this game, they can step on Schalke 04 to reach the top. This is absolutely intolerable for Schalke fans, and of course this is what Dortmund fans most hope to happen. Ball Heil Hurrah! Borussia, cheers to football! Dortmund! Vor.Kanem.Gunner.Wehr.Versagen, never lose courage and confidence in front of any opponent. In the player tunnel, Schalke 04 players listened to the deafening Dortmund team song from outside. I can't help but click my tongue for the hot atmosphere of this game. When players from both sides played, the singing suddenly increased, and the entire Westfalenstadion shook. In the south stand, 25,000 Dortmund fans seemed to form a yellow wave. It's a derby battle. Standing on the court, Lin Chen felt the shouts of Dortmund fans, and of course there were some blue figures among them. This kind of devil's home game also made the Schalke 04 players a little uncomfortable. After the players from both sides stand still. Sports Channel 5, Shen Jian and Tao Jun introduced the starting rosters of both sides to the fans. The Schalke 04 single arrow is still Lin Chen. The midfielders are Makwut, McKennie and Embolo. The back line is divided into 2 layers, with Caligiuri, Zelda, Rudy and Okipka in front. Behind the goal guarded by Salif, Naldo and Nast Asic, the goalkeeper is Captain Fellman. In this game, Dortmund, except for Schmelzer's injury, also played with all the main players. The striker is Götze at the top, and the rear is Sancho, Loo Yisai and Brun. Witzel and Delaney served as midfielders, and the defense line was Ashraf, Akanji, Diallo and Piszczek. Facing Dortmund, Tedesco did not underestimate the enemy. In order to block the opponent's attack, he did not hesitate to deploy a full 7 players on his own defense line. In the front court, Tedesco still pins all his hopes on Lin Chen amidst the hustle and bustle of the Westfalenstadion. The referee blew the whistle to start the game. The German national derby has also officially kicked off. At the very beginning, Dortmund launched a rush to Schalke 04. Götze flicked the ball straight to midfielder Loo Yisai, while Brun and Sancho sprinted forward at the same time. Advertisement: the 3 arrows were in unison, which made Schalke 04 have to quickly enter the game state. Loo Yisai then passed a through pass to Sancho, who was going forward. At this time, Caligiuri also quickly followed up, marking the repeated areas closely. Caligiuri's close marking left Sancho with no room to continue to advance, so he turned the ball to Bruin's feet on the left. This long pass dispatch was steadily received by Bruin, and the Hornet fans also gave a round of applause for it. I have to say that Schalke 04's defense is indeed very solid. After Brun saw that there were 3 defenders in front of him, he couldn't move forward. You can only control the ball at your feet and wait for the players to come forward. On the sidelines, Dortmund coach Favre also signaled the players to press forward. Seeing the instructions, Witzel and Delaney pressed directly to the middle circle. After Loo Yisai patiently dispatched in the midfield, Götze finally saw an opportunity and got in between Rudy and Sarif. Loo Yisai also discovered Götze's forward drive, and with a kick over the top, he directly penetrated Schalke 04's defense. A brief exclamation erupted at the Westfalenstadion. But Naldo did not give Götze more chances, and directly grabbed the ball before Götze got the ball and destroyed it out of the bottom line. Dortmund's attack also ended without a problem. Afterwards, Ashraf picked up the ball directly and quickly took a corner kick. In the penalty area, players from both sides mixed together, but no one touched the ball. Fellman, who was finally attacked, took the ball out of the air. Hornets fans are very sorry that the ball failed to achieve results, but did not wait for everyone to react. After Fairman took the ball, he ran directly past the crowd to the edge of the penalty area, and made a strong hand throw. Dortmund failed to attack, Fairman got the ball. Fairman ran to the edge of the penalty area quickly and threw the ball with a strong hand. It's a counter-attack from Schalke 04. Favre's spirit immediately tensed up, and he quickly called the players to return to defense. And the goal of Fairman's ball is Lin Chen. At this time, Dortmund's defense line, apart from the two central defenders Akanji and Diallo, only Witsel is left near the center circle. Although there is only Witsel alone, his position is obviously closer to the ball than Lin Chen. Just when the Hornets jersey thought the ball wouldn't pose a threat, Lin Chen picked up his speed suddenly and started running towards the ball from a few meters behind Witsel. In just an instant, Lin Chen was in the same position as Witsel. There was a burst of exclamation at the Westfalenstadion in an instant, and the Hornet fans suddenly felt bad. Seeing Lin Chen's speed was so fast, Witsel was also a little shocked. But Witsel did not give up this fight, and immediately opened his arms, trying to push Lin Chen out of the way. But Lin Chen's physical fitness is not what Witsel can promote. He carried Witsel directly and poked the ball before it hit the ground. The ball immediately started rolling forward again. Lin Chen struggled to get rid of Witsel's close defense. Speed up straight away, throwing away Witsel danger. Witsel failed to win the ball this time. At this time, there are only two central defenders, Akanji and Diallo, in front of Lin Chen. Seeing that Witsel failed to defend successfully, Akanji rushed forward, trying to destroy the attack before Lin Chen. Akanji's tackle. It's Lin Chen again. Lin Chen poked the ball again before Akanji tackled. The speed is amazing. Diallo, who was the only one left in Dortmund's defense, did not dare to attack rashly anymore, so he could only try to squeeze Lin Chen to the sideline with his body. One hit one. Would Lin Chen also choose? Lin Chen swung the ball out again. The baseline is ahead. Can Lin Chen get the ball before it goes out of the baseline? Facing Diallo's defense, Lin Chen didn't hesitate and poked the ball vigorously. It's the latecomer again, and Lin Chen is about to surpass Diallo. It's all about dismantling Dortmund's defense with speed. In the upper left corner of Dortmund's penalty area, the two ran side by side, trying to get the ball before the other. At this time, Dortmund's goalkeeper Berkey also rushed to attack, facing the goalkeeper who was closer to the ball. In the penalty area, Lin Chen could only give it a go, trying his best to kick the ball in the confrontation with Diallo. Shoot! Is this kick too forced? Lin Chen kicked the ball. Seeing the ball rushing towards the goal, Berkey hurriedly swooped down to make a save. But still couldn't touch the ball. The ball went in. Schalke 04's first attack, scored a goal. This is completely Lin Chen's own solo performance. After the shot, Lin Chen saw the ball go straight into the goal, and he opened his arms and continued jogging on the sideline. 0 for flowers. Then he turned around and jumped up, and after landing, he performed a standard Ronaldo celebration. Advertisement. Then the Schalke players who came quickly surrounded Lin Chen in the center, celebrating the blitz goal. Even if a goal is scored, Hornets fans will never tolerate Schalke players celebrating like this at their home court. The Westfalenstadion was instantly filled with boos, which once overwhelmed the fans of the mining factory who were celebrating cheers. Even Bumblebee fans who were close to Lin Chen and others threw mineral water bottles at Schalke players one after another. What an unbelievable goal! Even in the Devils' home court like Westfalen, Lin Chen is not affected at all. Opened the goal account again. The competition has just begun, and we look forward to Lin Chen's next competition. Sports Channel 5, Shen Jian couldn't help but said excitedly. Huguo fans are also full of praise for Lin Chen's performance. In such a shocking away game, Lin Chen was able to withstand the pressure and score a blitz goal. The psychological quality is really top-notch, and he can still maintain a very high level of competition in this environment. A player with a big heart. Lin Chen is simply the hero of Schalke 04. After a short celebration, the game started again. Swiss coach Favre frowned and signaled the players to step up their offense, completely pressing Schalke to death in the half. Dortmund's players also quickly recovered from the loss of conceding the ball. It's just a ball. In their own home court, can the mining factory win this game? Soon, Dortmund's offensive swept again. The cooperation of Götze and Loyi made Schalke's defense more and more difficult. Seeing how difficult the team's defense was, Lin Chen frequently retreated snowballs from the front court. Thanks to Lin Chen's perfect physical strength, Lin Chen runs all the time on the court. Even Tedesco on the sidelines was a little worried about whether Lin Chen was too excited. After all, in the previous games, Lin Chen was cruising around the opponent's defense line waiting for an opportunity. I have never seen Lin Chen run so hard like today. After Lin Chen retreated to get the ball, the two central defenders of Dortmund were also forced to move forward together by Lin Chen. The effect of Lin Chen's participation in the defense is also gradually showing. Under Dortmund's long attack, they finally found a mistake in a pass from McKennie. Perhaps the purpose of this pass was a little unclear. Rudy did not start to catch the ball at the first time. Luo Yesi, who had been waiting for a long time, started instantly, wanting to get the ball. The Schalke players were suddenly startled into a cold sweat. Danger! McKennie made a pass error. Just when everyone thought that Luo Yesi would definitely get the ball, Lin Chen suddenly jumped out from behind Luo Yesi and passed the ball back to McKennie. Then Lin Chen turned around and ran back. McKennie, who had just made a fatal mistake, quickly understood Lin Chen's intentions, and directly hit Dortmund's right flank with a long pass. At this time, Akanji and Diallo were still in the middle circle. After seeing the ball, Diallo turned around and chased the ball. Another counterattack. The cooperation between McKennie and Lin Chen has become more and more tacit. Lin Chen, who was advancing at full speed, took the ball steadily before it hit the ground, and then slammed down the right side. At this time, Makwut and Embolo also moved forward quickly. 3 against 2. How will Lin Chen choose this ball? As the commentary said, Dortmund's two central defenders suddenly fell into a difficult choice. Is it defending Lin Chen or defending Makwut and Embolo who are going forward? But Lin Chen did not give them time to react. After Lin Chen came to the edge of the penalty area, look at the approaching central defenders and goalkeepers who strike. A long-range shot directly from the inside of the foot. I saw the ball draw a beautiful arc in the air, and then fell into the net. World wave. Lin Chen scored another goal. Completed a brace. On the sidelines, seeing Lin Chen scoring again, Tedesco jumped up excitedly. Before this game, Tedesco was under a lot of pressure, even more nervous than the last time he played against Bayern. After all, this is a derby in the Ruhr area. If they fail to win, the fans of the mining factory will not let themselves go so easily. After seeing Lin Chen score 2 goals in just half-time, Tedesco finally let go of his hanging heart. This game features Lin Chen. Steady. Amidst the boos all over the sky, Dortmund's backcourt players looked bitter. Because now they don't know who the Hornets fans are really booing. Facing Lin Chen's charge, Lin Chen scored 2 goals in less than half-time. What a shame for Dortmund. What's more, this is a derby battle. This time, the fans of the mining factory worked hard and finally made their own weak voice amidst the boos of the Hornet fans. All of a sudden, the stadium was filled with various voices. Borussia Dortmund captain Luo Yesi stood with his hips akimbo near the center circle, watching the Schalke players celebrate. The emotions in my heart are extremely complicated. Advertisement. Chapter 72. The 0-2 score on the big screen deeply hurt all Hornets fans. Cheer up! It's a derby now. It's a Ruhr derby. In the Westphalia South stand, an excited bearded fan blushed and roared. Let's cheer on the team. As soon as this remark came out, it immediately aroused the approval of many fans. Subsequently, Dortmund's team song sounded again. The yellow team flag was waving, and densely packed scarves were waving in their hands. The Westfalenstadion once again restored the atmosphere of the Devils' home stadium. The game continues. At this point the first half of the game is almost over. But Dortmund did not give up, and still launched an attack on Schalke 04. As for defense, fans of either team will tell you that the Ruhr derby has no defense. From the perspective of both parties, blindly defending and placing the bus is a cowardly act. Of course, Dortmund, which was originally weak in defense, did not need to focus on defense after the lack of Schmelzer's play. Moreover, the team is now 2 goals behind, and defense cannot solve the problem. Only hope that Götze and others can break through the opponent's goal. At the end of the first half, Dortmund's offensive became more and more fierce. It seems that he wants to use all the strength of the whole game in these few minutes. Schalke 04's defensive midfielders Rudy and Zelda are also somewhat difficult to parry. At the end of the first half it seemed like Dortmund's players finally got into the game. Facing Borussia Dortmund, who is fully fired, can Schalke 04 survive this last moment? Sports Channel 5, Shen Jian said with some regrets about Dortmund, which was only now reacting to an all-out attack. The possession of the ball was constantly changing, and after Zelda intercepted a Dortmund attack, he then gave the ball to Markut on the right. After receiving the ball, Markut glanced at the players' positions. 790 at this time, Lin Chen's position is double-teamed by the opposing player. If the ball is passed, it is easy to be destroyed by the opponent's central defender. So Markut directly chose to take the ball and advance along the left flank. At this time Dortmund is aggressively attacking, except for the two central defenders in the backcourt. Even the two fullbacks Ashraf and Piszczek are in Schalke 04's half. Seeing that his defensive position was lost, Ashraf quickly chased after Markut. Lin Chen and Embolo also started one after the other, and cooperated with Markut to complete the attack. Markut walked all the way along the sideline to the corner. And Ashraf was about to catch up to Markut, just behind him. Markut didn't dare to stay, and directly sent the ball into the penalty area with a cross. Cross the ball. Can Lin Chen catch this ball? At this time, outside Dortmund's big penalty area, Lin Chen entered the penalty area under the double team of two central defenders. Seeing that the ball was about to be taken off by Berkey, Lin Chen made a sliding tackle at the same time he stepped into the penalty area. The Schalke fans who were watching the live broadcast were also surprised that Lin Chen shot in this way. But even if you can touch the ball like this, is it difficult to shoot? In the penalty area, the moment Lin Chen shoveled the ball immediately bounced off the ground and directly past the attacking goalkeeper. Maybe Lin Chen kicked too hard, the ball hit the goal frame directly above the goal, and then fell again. After reacting, Berkey hurriedly turned around and threw the ball into his arms at the goal line. The Westfalenstadion suddenly exclaimed. Did the goal go in? The referee did not blow the whistle. Wait. The linesman raised the flag to indicate that the ball is valid. Let's take another look at the playback screen. It turned out that the ball hit the goal line and then bounced out. Lin Chen, this goal is valid. On the pitch, the referee blew his whistle after confirming with the linesman, indicating that the goal is valid. Lin Chen scored a hat-trick before half-time. In front of Lin Chen, even the yellow and black wall of the Westfalenstadion is overshadowed. When Dortmund took the ball again, the referee also blew the whistle for the end of the first half. 0-3 at half-time. Facing the derby rival Schalke 04, there is such a shameful score. This makes the Hornets fans really hard to accept. So much so that before the Dortmund players entered the player tunnel, some Hornet fans even threw mineral water bottles at the home team players. And the Schalke 04 players are naturally indispensable. Just when everyone thought this intermission would pass easily, a piece of news completely detonated the entire Schalke area, and even the Bundesliga. On German social media, when the national derby attracted everyone's attention, a Spanish reporter suddenly broke the news. Schalke 04 star and Bundesliga top scorer Lin Chen will return to Real Madrid in the winter window. Once this news was sent out, it immediately attracted everyone's attention. Star Lin Chen. Advertisement: the 18-year-old Bundesliga top scorer. Who doesn't know Lin Chen, who hasn't lost a game since he landed in the Bundesliga? Who doesn't know? This news was immediately quoted back to Daxia. Countless Hwagyo fans left messages in the comment area on the netball website. I'm finally going back to Real Madrid. The current state of Real Madrid is really annoying. It's time to let La Liga know how powerful I am, Big Devil Lin. Real Madrid finally can't stand it anymore. They also know that there is a player like Lin Chen. Hurry back to Real Madrid, it's a pity not to see Lin Chen in the Champions League. The Bundesliga is almost exhausted, it's time to play in La Liga. Hwagyo fans are quite happy about Lin Chen's return to Real Madrid. Of course, there are also a small number of Hwagyo fans who are a little disappointed. I will go back in the winter window. I thought I would play the whole season. After watching Schalke 04 games for so long, I almost became a fan of Mining Factory. Suddenly, Lin Chen returned to Real Madrid. It's really uncomfortable. Hey! What a pity, I still want to watch Lin Chen win the Bundesliga championship. In Germany, the same sentiment also appeared among Schalke fans. When the fans of the Mining Factory heard the news, it was undoubtedly a sunny day hitting them. Is your team's top scorer and strongest striker finally going to be recalled by Real Madrid? The Mining Factory fans felt a little bit bitter. After all, Lin Chen had brought them too many surprises in the past few months. No one thought that a player who came to Schalke 04 on loan to exercise would have such an amazing performance. Fans of mining plant have gradually fallen in love with this Lin Chen who is omnipotent on the court. When the game started again, there was a sudden violent shout from the fans section of the mining factory in the Vafalen stand, Lin Chen stay! Lin Chen stay! Although there were only a few thousand Schalke 04 fans, the fans exploded at this moment far more than when Lin Chen scored. Perhaps the Hornets fans also understood something, and the yellow and black wall did not make any more noise. Only the hoarse shouts of the mining factory fans remained in the entire stadium. At this moment, all eyes were on Lin Chen. Lin Chen in front of the camera pursed his lips and didn't know what to write. In the second half, they changed sides and fought again. Perhaps because of the influence of the fans, the players of Schalke 04 were a little distracted. As a result, the ball was frequently intercepted by Dortmund players in the backcourt. Dortmund also took the opportunity to launch a very threatening attack. After Witzel intercepted Embolo's pass to Lin Chen, he handed the ball to team captain Luo Yesi. At this time, Dortmund's three front court players all moved forward. Luo Yesi threw a straight kick and gave the ball to Goetz, who was advancing at a high speed. The players of Schalke 04 also noticed the danger. The two central defenders attacked Götze together, trying to squeeze him out of the ball's control. But I didn't expect Götze to hit his heel and pass the ball directly behind him. Followed by Luo Yesi, he directly faced the ball and shot angrily. The ball goes straight to the upper left corner of the goal. Even though Fairman made a save, he still failed to intercept the goal. 1-3. After a long time of depression, the fans of the Hornets finally waited for their own team's goal. Deafening shouts resounded throughout the Westfalen Stadion. Luo Yesi flew to the South Stand fans to celebrate the goal. When mentioning Luo Yesi, people will immediately think of Dortmund's bright yellow. This ill-fated player from the youth training period, as if he was born to be the pressure of the Westfalen Stadion. This season, Luo Yesi is also wearing Dortmund's captain's armband. Coach Favre moved his position back, allowing him to take on more organizational responsibilities. Faced with this request, Luo Yesi agreed without any complaints. In his view, as the captain, he has to take on more responsibilities for the team. Luo Yesi has also been invited by many wealthy teams. But in the face of this kind of invitation, he directly chose to renew the contract with Dortmund and abolished the liquidated damages clause of the original contract. This action is tantamount to declaring stay in Dortmund forever to the Hornets fans. Prior to this, the German footballer had led Dortmund to 3 championships. Perhaps Luo Yesi compares with his national team teammates in terms of his talent. 3 championships may be too few, but in the hearts of fans, how can the love for Luo Yesi be measured by the number of championships? He is the pride of the city, the guardian of Westphalia, and the fairy tale writer in the football world. Just because he was with them in the most difficult time, they will always be there for him. After the game starts again, Schalke 04 directly gave Dortmund a fatal blow to the hope of equalizing. 82 minutes. After Lin Chen got the ball in the backcourt, he first gave it to Marcotte, who was plugging in from the wing. The latter immediately understood, and with his tacit understanding with Lin Chen, he didn't even need Lin Chen to signal to him, it was just a direct shot. After Lin Chen got the ball, he handed it to Marcotte. The ball didn't stay long at the feet of Marcotte, and another long pass hit Dortmund's half-court. Since Lin Chen has been cruising in Dortmund's defense, in order to avoid offside. It wasn't until the moment when Marcotte kicked, Lin Chen started and ran towards the ball. Zero advertisement at the same time, Akanji and Diallo also quickly chased the ball. This kind of scene has appeared many times in the first half, and the fans of the mining factory are even a little accustomed to seeing Lin Chen attacking the opponent's defense without any spare power. But for the fans of the Hornets, it is not as calm as the fans of the mining factory. After being scored 3 consecutive goals by Lin Chen in the first half, Hornet fans immediately tense up when they see Lin Chen sprinting, perhaps because Diallo's position was so good. Lin Chen didn't have time to adjust his posture after stealing the ball. Seeing that Akanji from behind was about to catch up with him, Lin Chen gave the ball to Embolo, who was running past without hesitation. Simple 2-over-1 at a time. Schalke 04 tore through Dortmund again. After Embolo received the ball, he ran forward without stopping. It wasn't until the ball was brought into the edge of the penalty area that Diallo arrived from behind. Facing Diallo's defense, Embolo did not choose to break through. After all, breaking through is not his strong point. After seeing Lin Chen and Akanji inserting into the penalty area one after the other, Embolo made a pass, and the ball went over Diallo's head and went straight to the center of the penalty area. At this time Lin Chen was already in place in the penalty area. Seeing the ball coming, Lin Chen leaped high into the goal directly against Akanji's pole, and headed the ball into the goal. Happy Big Four! It's Lin Chen again. Always Lin Chen. This game has completely become Lin Chen's solo performance. The Westfalenstadion is completely silent at this moment. The successive shots seem to make Dortmund's players forget that Lin Chen is actually a high center forward. His best and most iconic is the header. Lin Chen's goal completely ended the suspense of the game. The final score was also fixed at 1-4. Dortmund suffered a big defeat at home. In the player tunnel, Luo Yisi took the initiative to find Lin Chen and wanted to exchange jerseys with him. Facing Luo Yisi's request, Lin Chen had no reason to refuse. Then Luo Yisi said to Lin Chen, "Come on. I like you. The future is yours." Then Luo Yisi took the jersey and returned to the team locker room. Post-match interview. When the media reporter asked Tedesco, "There is news in the midfield that Lin Chen will return to Real Madrid in the winter window, whether this is true?" Tedesco waved helplessly facing the camera. "I also just heard the news from you. Maybe you should ask the Real Madrid transfer representative about this kind of thing, after all Lin Chen only came to Schalke 04 on loan." Although Tedesco did not admit that Lin Chen returned to Real Madrid, he knew it in his heart. When Lin Chen came back from Madrid, he found himself talking about it. Even if Tedesco was very reluctant to part with Lin Chen, he could only let him go. After all, Schalke 04 is just a small team, so it is obviously impossible to buy out Lin Chen. On the second day after the end of this national derby, all German media are covering the game. Lin Chen shines in the national derby. The yellow and black wall is silent. 10 consecutive victories in the league. Who else can stop Schalke from winning? 4.4 Lin Chen, the absolute champion of the Bundesliga. Of course, some Schalke local media reported that Lin Chen was about to leave the team. But this news was only revealed by a reporter and has not been confirmed by any official. In fact, even if there is no official news, the fact that Lin Chen is loaned to Schalke has long been very clear to the fans. Even so, the fans of the mining factory were still very reluctant to part with Lin Chen's departure after learning about it. City of Gelsenkirchen. The Schalke team, which won the national derby, is also enthusiastically sought after by the fans. When the team's bus drove into the main road of Gelsenkirchen, countless mining factory fans wore jerseys and raised the team flag to surround the bus. Lin Chen, Makut, Fellman, McKenny. The names of the Schalke players were called out, and the players also opened the car windows to pay tribute to the fans. When Lin Chen appeared in the eyes of the fans burst into even more enthusiastic cheers. The other players also looked at Lin Chen enviously when they saw the fans. "This kid, one person's cheers are louder than all of us combined." Captain Fairman joked helplessly. When the players got off the bus, the excited fans could no longer hold back their emotions and rushed to the players to ask for their autographs. Lin Chen was surrounded by fans. Facing the enthusiastic fans, Lin Chen signed it with his flamboyant Hyuxia calligraphy. The fans who got Lin Chen's autograph shouted excitedly, while the fans who didn't wear the jersey even signed it on themselves. After the team returned to the base, a brief celebration ceremony was held. Then everyone returned to the tense preparations. Because 2 days later, Schalke 04 will play against Cologne in the German Cup. Advertisement. Chapter 73. Perhaps it is because the German media is still immersed in the derby between Schalke 04 and Dortmund. This German Cup game did not cause much repercussions in Germany. But outside of Germany, this game has attracted the attention of Spain and Daxia. It is natural for Hwagüo to pay attention to this game. After all, Lin Chen is already considered a top player in Hwagüo. In Hwagüo, many fans specially developed the good habit of staying up late in order to watch Lin Chen's games. Some fans even joked, "Since I watched too many Lin Chen games, my classmates started calling me uncle." Hwagüo fans' love for Lin Chen is understandable. But this game caused such a big response in Spain, which no one expected. The reason why Spanish fans pay so much attention to a German Cup game has to start after playing the German national derby. The Spanish reporter who broke the news of Lin Chen's return in the winter window revealed more contract details later. For example, the annual salary of 800W euros and the signing fee of 1000W euros, etc. If it was just a reporter breaking the news, it might not have such great credibility. Until one day later, the local media Marca in Madrid also wrote an article reporting on Lin Chen's return to Real Madrid in the winter window. As the authoritative football media in Spain, this report by Marca has excited countless Real Madrid fans. Is Lin Chen finally coming back? Hurry up and save Real Madrid, now Real Madrid's game is really hard to describe. The return of the winter window? I can't wait for Lin Chen to come back directly. Even Real Madrid fans spoke. Can you trade Bell and Benzema for Lin Chen and come back sooner? Not only did no one refute these remarks on social media, but they received likes from Real Madrid fans in a short period of time. The reason for this scene is inseparable from Real Madrid's recent poor record. Different from Lin Chen's stunning performance in the Bundesliga, since the beginning of this season, Real Madrid's record in all competitions has been unsatisfactory. It can even be said to be a disaster-level performance. Until the 10th round of La Liga that ended a few days ago, Real Madrid challenged Barcelona away. Due to Messi's injury, this is also the first time that Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi have not had a dialogue of the century. As a result, Real Madrid lost 30 to Barcelona in a shameful 1-5 score at the Nou Camp. The most painful thing for Real Madrid is that Barcelona without Messi scored 5 goals for Real Madrid. In the stands, Real Madrid fans were humiliated by Barcelona fans collectively flashing 5 fingers. It was like a slap in the face of a Real Madrid fan. In addition to this game, Real Madrid, which just won the Champions League for 3 consecutive times, has lost 6 games in 14 games this season. This puts Real Madrid coach Lopetegui's position in jeopardy. And the only goal of his own team was scored by defender Marcelo. Forwards such as Benzema and Bell were completely misfired. Real Madrid fans could no longer bear the weakness of the striker and bombarded the club on social media. After losing Ronaldo, the team will not play. At this time, the Bundesliga striker Lin Chen, who was loaned to Schalke 04 by Real Madrid, seemed to be Real Madrid's last hope. Countless Real Madrid fans hope that Lin Chen will return to the team as soon as possible to help Real Madrid get out of the quagmire. October 31 Schalke 04's away game against Cologne is about to start. Because there is a sheep in the Cologne team emblem, it is also called the Sheep Team by some Huxia fans. This team located in Cologne can be described as a legendary team in German football in recent years. Cologne returned to the Bundesliga from the Bundesliga 4 years ago. However, in the Bundesliga in the 15-16 season, the team did not play well. At the end of the season, with a score of 7 points above the relegation zone, it was difficult to complete the task of relegation. In the 16-17 season, the team became the biggest dark horse in the league. Miracles were created along the way, and in the end they finished the season 5th in the league and qualified for next season's Europa League. However, the drama staged by the team is not over yet. In the 17-18 season, the team was hacked due to the influence of multi-line battles such as the European War. After the end of the season, they were relegated to the last place in the Bundesliga. The Cologne team, which could still compete in the Europa League, has started a new journey in the Bundesliga. This record of ups and downs did not make Cologne lose his fighting spirit, but became more and more courageous. Although Cologne has been relegated to the Bundesliga this season, a lot of main players have been lost. But relying on the background accumulated in the Europa League last season, Cologne's advantage in the Bundesliga is quite obvious. The current record is also very good, and it is hoped that they will return to the Bundesliga directly after the end of the season. 7:30 local time in Germany. German Cup second round. Cologne take on Schalke 04 at the Rhein Energy Stadium. This game against the leaders of the Bundesliga also attracted many fans to watch the game. It has to be said that Cologne has a very strong fan culture. Even after being relegated to the Bundesliga 2, this stadium still maintains an extremely terrifying attendance rate. Before the game starts, the official commentary of the German Cup is introducing the starting lists of both sides. At this time, a large number of Spanish ID comments suddenly appeared in the comment area of the live broadcast. Real Madrid fans report. Real Madrid fans are here. Where's Lin Chen? Is there Lin Chen in this game? As a Real Madrid fan, the first time I watched Lin Chen's live broadcast was in the German Cup match. Get started. I want to see Lin Chen score. Suddenly, a large number of Spanish comments flooded the comment area. Advertisement: these are naturally Real Madrid fans, after Lin Chen is about to return to Real Madrid in the winter window. Many Real Madrid fans directly watched the live broadcast of the German Cup in order to get a glimpse of Lin Chen's demeanor first. The German official commentator who learned the truth of the matter was also a little dumbfounded, and was also surprised by Lin Chen's influence among Real Madrid fans. A similar situation also appeared in Daxia. Since there is no live broadcast platform in Daxia to buy the rights to broadcast the German Cup, Hwaguo fans can only watch foreign video sources borrowed by the anchor on dianchu.com. Although the screen of the broadcasted game is not clear, it can even be said to be a bit blurry. But this does not affect the enthusiasm of Hwaguo fans to watch this game. In the 10 minutes before the start of the game, nearly 100,000 fans flooded into the live broadcast room. Soon, the German Cup game began. In this game, Schalke 04's formation has also changed a lot, and Tedesco directly changed to 433. Tedesco did not choose to let Lin Chen serve as the single arrow again. Perhaps because he was worried that there would be no forwards available after Lin Chen left, Tedesco deliberately raised the position of Marca in this game. At the same time, Embolo, who is often reduced to a substitute, also has the opportunity to start the game. Cologne coach Fang naturally did not dare to be careless in the face of the strong enemy Schalke, and formed a 541 formation. When the time came to 7:30, the game officially started. Schalke 04 in the away game kicked off first. After Lin Chen flicked the ball to McKennie in midfield, he turned and went straight into Cologne's half. McKennie naturally understood what was going on in Lin Chen's mind. Then a long pass was hoisted directly into Cologne's penalty area. What kind of tactic is this? McKennie kicked the ball back to the opponent's goalkeeper Horn. The commentator looked at the long pass from the Schalke 04 player and was a little puzzled. But then, the narrator immediately noticed something was wrong. Lin Chen is rushing to the restricted area at high speed. McKennie's long pass was clearly planned. Can Lin Chen grab this ball? The Cologne players also spotted Lin Chen, who was advancing at high speed. The running Lin Chen suddenly appeared on Cologne's last defense line like a shadow. Danger! But when Cologne's two central defenders Meyer and Chichos reacted, Lin Chen had already got the ball firmly. Facing the attacking goalkeeper Horn, Lin Chen rubbed a shot directly. The ball rubbed against Horn's fingertips in mid-air, and then went straight into the net. Then the referee's whistle sounded. 0-1. Lin Chen opened the scoring first. At this time, the time is just 5 seconds away from the kickoff. The ball went in. In just 5 seconds, Lin Chen scored his first goal in the German Cup. This goal time also broke the record for the fastest goal in the German Cup. Prior to this, the record for the fastest goal in the German Cup was in October 2014, Modest, who was playing for Hoffenheim at the time, scored 12 seconds after coming off the bench against FSV Frankfurt. And Lin Chen's goal was 7 seconds faster than Modest. I guess it will be difficult for players to break this record again in the future. The commentator said with a look of surprise. Obviously he has not recovered from the shock brought by Lin Chen's ball. At the same time, the Hwaguo fans who knew the live broadcast room of the ball net were also shocked. Goal in the opening game. Lin Chen is really awesome. Missed grass. Goal in 5 seconds. Do I really watch Captain Tsubasa cartoons? Ah. What happened? I just came to the studio. Is Cologne too weak, or Lin Chen too strong? In the stands, the mining factory fans in the away fan area hadn't even taken their seats when they saw Lin Chen breaking into the penalty area and scoring a goal. After a brief astonishment from the fans of the mining factory, there was a burst of violent cheers. This is Lin Chen. Always surprise you. Lin Chen. Lin Chen. Shakhtar fans chanted Lin Chen's name from the stands. The Cologne fans were stunned. What's the situation? A goal was scored in the first 5 seconds. The Cologne fans didn't know whether they were shocked by Lin Chen's goal so quickly, or blamed the team for not defending seriously. Cologne coach on the sidelines. Fang held his head and looked at the Schalke 04 players who were celebrating in disbelief. It was just scored at the beginning. The back line of 5 defenders was easily pierced by Lin Chen. Even their own players didn't even have time to react. Even though Fang already had a general understanding of Lin Chen's strength before the game, Fang still had some difficulty accepting the goal conceded at the beginning. Fang sighed helplessly. Then arrange players to strengthen the defense. After the Cologne players heard the coach's signal, they shook their heads and returned to the middle circle to wait for the kickoff again. Such a fatal mistake was obviously due to lack of concentration. Advertisement Lin Chen even scored a goal before the team's front court players settled down. Cologne's central defenders Meyer and Chichos also concentrated their minds, determined to guard Lin Chen. The game starts again. Even including Lin Chen's celebration time, it's only a minute. but this time it was replaced by a player from Cologne to kick off. The game continues. After taking the lead, Schalke was not in a hurry to attack, and was slowly looking for opportunities on the court. On the contrary, Cologne was a little impatient and wanted to equalize the score as soon as possible. The possession of the ball is constantly changing, when Rudy wants to pass the ball to Marcut on the wing. At this time, the left midfielder Schwab, who had been waiting for a long time beside Marcut, suddenly came out from the side and intercepted the ball. Marcut rushed up to snatch the ball, trying to get the ball back under Schwab's feet again. The Austrian international, who just joined the team this season, also showed a very high level of competition at this time. Facing Marcut's pressing, Schwab took the ball out in 2 or 3 strokes. Then the ball was handed directly to Cordoba, who was hovering at the top of the arc in the penalty area. After the latter received the ball, Cordoba could not turn around and shoot because of Naldo and others behind him. So Cordoba took the ball under his feet for the time being, and Schwab had already rushed to the penalty area. Seeing this situation, Cordoba pushed the ball lightly, and Schwab shot angrily at the ball. The ball goes straight to the goal. Fairman, who reacted in time, didn't dare to push the ball too hard, and directly hit the ball with both fists. After the shot failed, Schwab was also a little regretful, but Schalke 04's counterattack also followed. After Schwab's goal was blocked by goalkeeper Fairman, Naldo grabbed the ball for the first time. Then Naldo passed the ball to McKennie, who without the slightest hesitation, made another long pass to Cologne's backcourt. Another long pass. But Lin Chen, who is still in his own half, can really catch the ball. The questions of the commentator 933 were quickly answered. I saw Lin Chen blowing directly past the Cologne players like a gust of wind. The speed was so fast that all Cologne players were unexpected. Although Meyer and Chijos had been prepared at this time, they retreated directly to grab the ball as soon as McKennie passed the ball. Wanted to break the ball out of the touchline before Lin Chen got the ball. Even though Lin Chen was a few positions behind Melee, under Lin Chen's full speed, Lin Chen finally got the ball first. Too fast. Lin Chen got the ball directly ahead of the Cologne defender from a position about 5 meters behind. After Lin Chen got the ball, there was no longer any defensive player in front of him. Single knife. Can the Cologne players recover this goal? Behind Lin Chen, Melee and Chijos, who were thrown off by Lin Chen, were chasing back with all their strength. On the sidelines of the court, Fang also held his breath and watched the form on the court. There is a goalkeeper in front, followed by soldiers. Lin Chen did not choose to wait for the players to step forward, and directly dribbled the ball into the penalty area at full speed. Facing the goalkeeper Horn, who is hesitating whether to play or not. Lin Chen shot directly, and the ball went into the net. 0-2. Lin Chen scored twice. After scoring the goal, Lin Chen rushed out of the court, ran to the bottom of the fan area of the mining factory, raised his fists and raised his arms. In response, fans of the mining factory raised their arms and shouted Lin Chen's name. Scored 2 goals one after another, which made the Cologne players a little confused. Even though the players in Cologne have heard about Lin Chen's strength for a long time before the start of the game, it is another experience to experience it personally on the field. Knowing the live broadcast room of the Ball Network, Haguo fans were also shocked by Lin Chen's goal. 1 goal is more exciting than 1 goal. How many things about Lin Chen have we not seen? It's really fast. At one point I thought I was watching a sprint race. Lin Chen, a high center forward, has such speed. Can this really happen in reality? Compared with this goal, Haguo fans are more concerned about Lin Chen's speed with the ball. At this time, Lin Chen's goal began to be replayed on the big screen. When the goal replay shows that Lin Chen's speed has reached 36.5 km per hour. Even Tedesco, who was sure of winning, couldn't help but look at the big screen with wide eyes. This speed is second only to Peter Pan Robin's peak speed of 37 km per hour. Basically tied the 36.9 km per hour speed that Bell once ran on the court. The point is that Lin Chen is a high center forward. Compared with all the top wingers, Lin Chen has such a fast speed as a high center forward. This made everyone unbelievable. The Real Madrid fans who were watching the live broadcast were also shocked by the speed shown by Lin Chen. As a center forward. Top shot. Dribble top. Top body. And it's so fast too. Real Madrid fans all believe that Lin Chen needs a bigger stage to show his abilities. Real Madrid was exactly what Lin Chen needed. Advertisement. Chapter 74. although Cologne played well in the Bundesliga this season. But in the face of Schalke 04, the leader of the Bundesliga, the strength is still a bit worse after all. Lin Chen scored 2 goals in less than 10 minutes, which already shows the problem. Cologne head coach An Fang crossed his hands over his chest and observed the situation on the field with his brows furrowed. On the field, the Cologne players played very hard. Facing the midfield composed of McKennie and Rudy, Cologne could hardly pass the ball. Moreover, in this game, An Fang could clearly feel that Lin Chen was already holding back and kicking. If it is like the last game against Dortmund, Lin Chen runs without hesitation. Not to mention whether Lin Chen can score goals, in terms of physical strength alone, his own defenders may not be able to withstand it. An Fang thought for a moment, then heaved a long sigh. In this DFB Cup match, Schalke 04 was really unlucky to draw the flourishing Schalke 04 at the very beginning. An Fang then adjusted the team's deployment and completely shrunk back to his own half, leaving Cordoba alone in front. As for scoring, An Fang can only say that he is resigned to his fate. If Lin Chen scores like this again, the team may collapse before half-time. And now at home. If he is directly bloodbathed by Schalke 04, he will probably become the head coach recorded on the column of shame in Cologne. Defensively now, at least it can make the team lose less ugly. On the field, after Cologne's full defense. Although Schalke 04 has no pressure in the backcourt, the difficulty of attacking in the front court has suddenly increased. Several of McKennie's passes were intercepted by Cologne's players. If it weren't for Cologne's unintentional attack, it is likely to pose a great threat. Lin Chen also noticed the changes in the situation on the court, and began to retreat frequently to catch the ball. 23 minutes. Facing the pressure of the Cologne players, Rudy passed the ball directly to Marcotte next to him. The latter just wanted to rush along the sideline after catching the ball, when he heard the referee's whistle. Marcotte looked back and saw that Rudy was shoveled to the ground by Cologne's midfielder Hegel, showing pain. The referee also quickly gave his own penalty. Hegel yellow card. Hegel, who received a yellow card, felt very wronged. He just accidentally touched Rudy's right foot. But this did not change the referee's penalty, and then the referee pointed directly to the place of the foul. Schalke 04 set piece. The position of this set ball is not far from the goal, just above the left of the arc top of the penalty area. McKennie glanced at the position of the Cologne wall. It would be fine if the ball hit the goal directly, but the chance of scoring is not high. So after the referee blew his whistle, McKennie drove the ball directly behind the goal. And the target was Lin Chen. At this time, there were 7 Cologne defenders in the penalty area, and Lin Chen was also closely guarded by Meyer and Hegel. After the ball was kicked out, Lin Chen judged where the ball landed. Lin Chen first took a step forward, and then ran back directly to the point behind the goal. Lin Chen feinted and drew Mele's attention completely. The ball happened to be driven to the back point. Can Lin Chen grab this ball in the face of Hegel's defense? The commentator also discovered Lin Chen's intentions. Edge of the penalty area, facing the ball. Lin Chen and Hegel took off at the same time, but Lin Chen was more than 10 centimeters taller than Hegel. In the end, Lin Chen also lived up to McKennie's expectations and directly scored with a header. Another ball. Lin Chen completed a hat-trick. Lin Chen also showed a very high tactical awareness in this ball, and Mele was completely played by Lin Chen. In the penalty area, Meyer was still annoyed at losing his defensive position against Lin Chen. At this time, Lin Chen, who scored the goal, had already run to the away fan area and blew his own kiss to the fans of the mining factory. Before Cologne's players got out of the shadow of consecutive conceding goals, Lin Chen scored another goal to completely drive Cologne to the bottom. 34 minutes. After Lin Chen received Rudy's pass, he kicked his heel directly, and the ball instantly slipped past the feet of Meyer, who was defending Lin Chen from behind. At this time, Marcotte rushed out quickly and received a wonderful pass from Lin Chen. Lin Chen also turned around and ran back directly. When Marcotte reached the edge of the penalty area, a cross was passed to Lin Chen's feet. Facing the incoming ball, Lin Chen volleyed without stopping the ball. The ball hits the net. 0-4. In just over 30 minutes, facing Cologne, Lin Chen has already completed his big four. The Spanish fans and Huaguo fans who were watching the game were completely shocked by Lin Chen's performance. Especially the Real Madrid fans from Spain completely admired Lin Chen in just half the game. In the stands, the Cologne fans were completely silent at this time, and only the cheers of the mining factory fans could be heard in the entire stadium. The Cologne coach even frowned and sat back on the coach's bench. It wasn't that Anfang didn't want to command the team anymore, but that Anfang didn't know how to defend against Lin Chen. This is simply a goal machine. Can always score tenaciously in your airtight defense. Advertisement as if the defensive players of his own team were all wooden men, they were completely manipulated by Lin Chen. The game started again, and in the next 10 minutes, Lin Chen did not continue to score. The score was also maintained at 0-4 to end the first half of the game. Schalke 04 dressing room. Tedesco quietly found Lin Chen, and said to Lin Chen with some embarrassment, "I'm going to replace you in the second half. And in the following games, you may only be able to play halftime or substitute. After all, the team is not only for this half of the season, I hope you can understand." Lin Chen naturally understood what Tedesco meant. "Now it is a certainty that I will return to Real Madrid in the winter window. Although the team is playing well now, it is entirely because of myself in the team, if only the original strength of the team is concerned. Maybe Schalke 04 is still worried about competing for the European qualification for next season. And now the team seems to be unable to play without Lin Chen." Faced with this situation, Tedesco can only minimize the playing time of Lin Chen and give it to his other forward players to exercise. Lin Chen could understand Tedesco's request, and then he agreed. Tedesco was also very happy. In fact, this kind of thing is not fair to Lin Chen. After all, it was definitely because of Lin Chen that he was able to win all the way in the previous games. For the long-term consideration of the team, Lin Chen had to be sacrificed. Seeing that Lin Chen agreed, Tedesco couldn't help but praise Lin Chen even more. The game continued in the second half. Tedesco directly replaced Lin Chen with Burgstaller. The 29-year-old veteran had been Schalke 04's main centre forward until Lin Chen joined the team. But as Lin Chen's performance on the court got better and better, Burgstaller could only be pushed on the bench. After Tedesco replaced Lin Chen, Cologne also dared to try to play some offence. In the 72nd minute, Hegel found forward Corvado with a long pass. The latter broke into the penalty area, faced Naldo's defence, and shot the ball without stopping, and the ball went straight into the net. 1-4. Cologne pulled one back. In the following games, Schalke 04 also played better and better after adapting to the rhythm of the game without Lin Chen on the court. Burgstaller scored another goal in the 83rd minute. In the end, the German Cup match also ended with a score of 1-5, and Schalke also advanced to the next round of the German Cup. Perhaps the media didn't pay much attention to this German Cup match, or they are used to Lin Chen scoring every game. There was no report on this game, and the media just casually mentioned a sentence in the briefing. 2 days later, the 11th round of the Bundesliga began. In this round, Schalke 04 will face Hannover 96 at home. After more than half a month of away games, Schalke 04 finally ushered in their home game. Although there is no need to travel to the away game, the intensive schedule still makes the team a little out of breath. In pre-match training, Rudi and Naldo suffered injuries one after another. This casts another shadow over Schalke 04, whose lineup is not strong enough. After carefully analyzing the strength of Hannover 96, Tedesco directly decided to rotate players on a large scale in this game to let the main players rest. November 3, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Hannover 96 also arrived at the Veltins Arena. Last season, the newly promoted Hannover 96 made a stunning start, ranking 4th with 3 wins and 3 draws in the first 6 rounds. But the good times didn't last long. Hannover only scored 16 points in the second half, and they will be ranked 13th in the end and will be relegated. This season, this team, which has a longer history than most Bundesliga teams, has lost its 3 main players, Salif Sane, Harnik, and Klaus, and its road to the league this season is not smooth. Facing this match with the current league leader Schalke 04. Before the game, Hannover 96 head coach Bray told the media reporters, "It was a difficult game, the opponent was not only far stronger than us, but also had a player like Lin Chen who scored goals like a prolific player in the team." The fans of Hannover 96 were not so optimistic about this game. But when Schalke 04's starting lineup came out, everyone was surprised. Tedesco chose a large-scale rotation for this game, and some players who almost never showed up in the league appeared in the starting list. First of all, in the midfield, McKennie and Rudi both became substitutes, replaced by Amin Ali and Ben Taleb. Naldo also missed the game on the defensive line, replaced by Stanbury. The only thing that reassures the fans of the mining factory is that there is not much change on the front line. It is still the 3 arrows of Lin Chen, Marcotte, and Embolo. At 5:30 in the afternoon, the game officially started. After half a month of away games, the fans of the mining factory also endured for a long time. The Velton Stadium, which can accommodate more than 60,000 fans, is already packed. Before the players played, the fans of the mining factory sang the team song of Schalke 04 passionately. Blau.und.wb blue and white we.leap.ikidik I love you so much Blau.und.wb blue and white Verlas. Michigan Nick don't leave me. When the players came out, the singing gods of the fans turned into cheers. When Lin Chen appeared in the field of vision of the fans with his little caddy, the cheers reached a new climax. Advertisement after the game starts. Schalke 04, short of major generals, did not choose a safe tactic, but launched a rush attack on Hannover 96 as soon as the game opened. Tedesco appears to be you have a plan in mind. Even if Naldo, McKennie and other generals are missing on the defense line, they still choose offensive tactics. Sports Channel 5, Shen Jian and Tao Jun explained the game to Huiguo fans. After the last German Cup match, many Huixia fans who hadn't seen the ball were looking forward to Lin Chen's match for a long time. As a result, the ratings of this originally unimportant game soared. I can understand Tedesco's approach. Although Schalke 04 has a lack of personnel, Lin Chen is still the player Tedesco relies on the most. With Lin Chen here, Schalke 04 can completely ignore the weakness of the defense. As the commentator said, just 5 minutes into the game, Lin Chen opened the scoring for Schalke 04. Amin Ali, the newcomer, intercepted a Hannover 96 pass. According to the tactical requirements of the head coach before the game, he directly found Lin Chen who was plugging in with a long pass. Hannover's defensive players also quickly defended in place. Lin Chen saw the defensive player beside him approaching quickly, and kicked the ball out without waiting for the ball to land completely. At this moment, Lin Chen directly released his speed, surpassed the defender in an instant, and went straight into the penalty area. Facing the attacking goalkeeper, Lin Chen shot the ball non-stop again. 1-0. The score is directly rewritten. Lin Chen. Lin Chen. Mining fans waved their team flags and shouted the name of the goal scorer. On the sidelines, the head coach of Hannover 96 sighed helplessly. Even though Schalke 04 chose to play with half of the main force, as long as Lin Chen is there, Hannover 96 still has nothing to do with it. In the subsequent games, Lin Chen became more and more courageous. In the 23rd minute, Caligiuri sent a corner kick, and Lin Chen still scored the ball in the penalty area despite the pull of 3 defenders. In the 43rd minute, when the first half was coming to an end, Lin Chen made another sudden shot and scored the goal with a long shot from the edge of the penalty area. At halftime, Lin Chen scored a hat-trick. The Hannover 96 players were also completely stunned by Lin Chen, and could only defend passively throughout the game. In the second half, they changed sides and fought again. As soon as the game started, Lin Chen was replaced by Tedesco. When Lin Chen left the field, he also received warm applause from the fans of the mining factory. At this time, the Real Madrid fans who were watching Lin Chen's older age also sincerely lamented Lin Chen. It's really strong. Hannover 96 is also a Bundesliga team, but they were kicked by Lin Chen alone. It's a pity that this kind of striker only plays in the Bundesliga. Hurry up and go back to Hwang, with Zhao, to play in the Champions League. Hurry up and go back to Real Madrid. I'm already fantasizing about Lin Chen returning to Real Madrid and killing all sides. Although it is already known that Lin Chen will return in the winter window 2 months later, with Lin Chen's brave performance in the Dishon Arena. It also made Real Madrid fans more eager for Lin Chen to return to Real Madrid. 2 months. Real Madrid fans feel too far away. Soon, the second half of the game came to an end. Lin Chen's 3 goals also helped Schalke 04 win the Bundesliga's 11th consecutive victory. Schalke 04 is also ranked first in the league. And including this game, Lin Chen's total goals in the Bundesliga has reached 37 goals. 37 goals in 11 matches. The Bundesliga isn't even halfway through yet, and Lin Chen has almost equaled the goals scored by most stars in a season. When Real Madrid fans saw Lin Chen's goal data, they even called Lin Chen the answer of Real Madrid's version. After the game, Lin Chen received a new reminder from the system. Unlock new attribute, stealing. 40 degrees. Lin Chen took a look at the introduction of the new attribute, and thought this attribute was very good. And after the recent strong dialogues, Lin Chen also discovered the importance of steals. Although he is a center forward, the front court press also requires stealing ability. If Lin Chen can grab the ball directly in the front court, it will undoubtedly improve the team's defensive ability. Lin Chen, who got the new attributes, also took a look at his other attributes. At this time, Lin Chen's data panel has 9 different attributes. Body, 100, Stamina, 100 Breakthrough, 50, Dribbling, 9 or 5 Shot, 70, Speed, 93 Defense, 30, Passing, 40 Steal, 40 Degrees Buff, Marksman Instinct. Remaining attribute value, 7. Looking at some relatively low attributes, Lin Chen is looking forward to the next game. After all, only with more games and more goals, can you have attribute points to improve your own strength. Advertisement. Chapter 75. After playing the Hannover 96 game, Schalke 04 also ushered in a short break. It was not until November 12 that Schalke 04 ushered in the 12th round of the Bundesliga. In this game, Schalke 04 once again went away to the Park Stadium to challenge Frankfurt. Frankfurt just aspired to the German Cup last season, but this season unfortunately suffered a blood loss from the General. The team lost at least 3 absolute main players last season. The first is the Finnish goalkeeper Hradecki going to the stronger Leverkusen. The versatile midfielder Marius was also activated by Dortmund early on with a liquidated damages of €5 million. Mascarell, the core of the team's tactics, was executed by the former club Real Madrid for a buyback clause of €4 million, and then sent to Schalke 04 at a price of €10 million. But Mascarell, who was also sent to Schalke 04 by Real Madrid, did not perform as well as Lin Chen. Before the team did a large-scale rotation, they couldn't even enter the roster, and they could only sit on the bench in this game. In addition, the team's biggest loss is the team's coach Niko Kovac switched to Bayern. But there is also some good news. The team's main defensive players Makoto Hospi, Abraham, Salcido, and others all stayed on the team. These people have also become the backbone of the new Austrian coach Sutter. In this game, these defensive generals were also included in the starting list by Sutter. Hope to use this to defend against the impact of Schalke 04's sharp single arrow Lin Chen. 7 p.m. German time. Eintracht Frankfurt's home game against Schalke 04 officially begins. This game against the upstarts of the league also attracted many fans to watch, and the more than 50,000 seats in the Park Stadium were already fully occupied. Sports Channel 5, when the players were still in the player channel, the commentator was introducing the starting lineup for the game to Hwagyo fans. After a week or so off-season, Bischok 04 also sent all the main players to play. Rudy and Naldo are also returning from injury, and Lin Chen is naturally starting the game. When Shen Jian was introducing Schalke's lineup, Tao Jun suddenly interrupted. As of now, Lin Chen has started all the 12 Bundesliga matches. Sometimes I wonder if Lin Chen is an Iron Man. Under such a dense schedule, Lin Chen can still perform steadily. Shen Jian also added at this time. It is true that even stars like Ronaldo and Messi occasionally miss a few games. But it's hard to see in Lin Chen, since 253 came to Schalke 04, Lin Chen has played all the official games he can play. Only the UEFA Champions League, and Lin Chen couldn't play because he didn't register. Tao Jun also regrets that Lin Chen cannot play in the Champions League. It is indeed a pity not to see Lin Chen in the Champions League. But this also has an advantage, that is, Lin Chen can register for the Champions League after returning to Real Madrid in the winter window. Of course, as long as Real Madrid can persist until Lin Chen returns. Although Tao Jun's words were just ridicule, the Hwagyo fans who were watching the live broadcast didn't think so. Ha ha ha. Tao Jun even said that he hopes Real Madrid can persist until the winter window is not eliminated in the Champions League. Real Madrid, you better be busy. Although I don't want to admit it, it's really hard to say what Real Madrid is doing now. Lin Chen, come back quickly, I am really sick of watching Real Madrid's current game. Some Real Madrid fans in Hwagyo are also very disappointed with the team's performance this season, and at the same time look forward to Lin Chen's return to Real Madrid. Now not only Hwagyo fans think so, even the local Real Madrid fans regard Lin Chen as a savior, hoping that Lin Chen can save the current poor Real Madrid. In the live broadcast room of Sports Channel 5, Shen Jian continued to introduce the lineups of both sides. Austrian coach Hutter formed a formation of 3,412 in this game, which is a bit like the formation often used by Schalke 04. It is worth noting that Makoto Hospi also started the game in this game. Some German local media called this game the Asian Derby. Tao Jun then said. As the absolute main force of the team winning the German Cup last season, Makoto Hospi is the team's strongest shield. and Lin Chen is the strongest spear of Schalke 04. In this conflict of contradictions, who is stronger? Let us wait and see. In the Park Stadium, with the whistle of the referee, the game officially kicked off. Hutter has also heard about Lin Chen's strength for a long time, so Frankfurt did not attack Schalke 04 like before. Instead, they chose a more secure tactic, defending with all their strength after the opening. In the front court, only Jovic and Alès were left as anchors for the counterattack. Facing Frankfurt, he chose to defend with all his strength at the beginning of the game, and McKennie was also a little distressed. He couldn't pass the ball at all. If it wasn't for Lin Chen's frequent retreat to catch the ball, he might not even be able to make a decent attack. But this quasi-state was not lasted long, at 22 minutes. Advertisement. After receiving the pass from McKennie, Marca did not choose to dribble forward directly, but was slowly dribbling and waiting for his teammates. Facing Frankfurt's defense of blindly putting on the bus, a quick attack cannot break their defense. So Maykut waited for Lin Chen and others to be in position before passing the ball to McKennie. I have to say that the positional warfare in Frankfurt is indeed very effective. The Schalke 04 players seem to have no way of breaking through their defense. Shen Jian sighed after seeing the form of the game. Lin Chen has not found a chance so far in this game. You have to know that before this, even against strong teams like Bayern and Dortmund, Lin Chen can give the opponent a fatal blow in the first 20 minutes. On the court, Lin Chen, who watched the team get into trouble, took the initiative to beckon for the ball. McKennie glanced at Lin Chen's position after receiving the ball. At this moment, Makoto Hospi and another defender were standing next to Lin Chen, and there were Frankfurt defensive players in the middle. If the ball is passed directly, it will definitely be intercepted by Frankfurt players. So after seeing Lin Chen's signal, McKennie was a little worried about whether the ball would work. But seeing Lin Chen's firm eyes, McKennie didn't hesitate anymore, and kicked a half-high ball into the penalty area. McKennie seems to have had enough of the current calm state of the game, and directly kicked the ball into the penalty area. But this shot is hard to pose a threat. Even Lin Chen is still under the double team of the opponent's defender. As the commentator said, Lin Chen had already started the first time McKennie passed the ball, but Makoto Hospi also followed Lin Chen closely. Facing Makoto Hospi's tight defense, although Lin Chen has already occupied the dominant position of the ball's landing, it is difficult for him to make further moves. In the away fan area, the fans of Mining Factory also began to worry about Lin Chen's handling of the ball. Do you want to be squeezed out of the penalty area by the opponent's defender? Just when everyone thought that Lin Chen's ball couldn't adjust the shooting space, Lin Chen made a move that surprised everyone. Facing the incoming ball, Lin Chen stepped back while judging the ball's position. Before the ball hit the ground completely, Lin Chen exerted force with both legs, and quickly turned around. Then used the waist and abdomen to quickly transmit the power to the right leg and kick it out quickly. Upside down golden hook. Makoto Hospi didn't realize that Lin Chen would choose to shoot in this way, and could only helplessly rush towards the goal along the ball. Not only Makoto Hospi, but also Frankfurt goalkeeper Trapp was taken aback by the sudden shot. He made a save in a hurry, but it was still a step too late, and he could only watch the ball pass by his hand. The moment the ball completely entered the goal, the fans of the Mining Factory burst into violent cheers. Even the Frankfurt fans couldn't help but exclaim for this goal. The ball has been scored. Facing Makoto Hospi's defense, Lin Chen chose a very entertaining shooting action. It is also a very threatening shooting action. Upside down golden hook. This is the first time we have seen Lin Chen use such an amazing way of shooting. Shen Jian seemed to be awakened by Lin Chen's shot. The live broadcast room, which was originally quiet because of the boring situation on the field, instantly became full of passion. Huaguo fans were also shocked by Lin Chen's goal. Missed grass. Upside down golden hook. This goal is perfect. It can be selected as the best goal of the Bundesliga this season. Lin Chen still has this skill. Really too strong. Is this a ball that Huaguo players can play? It's too samba. The most important thing is that you haven't noticed that Lin Chen is a high center forward. He even made such a move. It is indeed as Huaguo fans said. Lin Chen is a high center forward. Faced with a difficult pass, he did not choose to use a header, but came upside down with a golden hook. This kind of breaks people's inherent views on high center forwards. On the field, before Lin Chen got up after scoring the goal, he was thrown to the ground by the Schalke players who came to celebrate. Tedesco also covered his head and watched the replay of the goal on the big screen with his eyes wide open. This is a ball that a high center can kick. Although many inherent impressions of high center forwards do not exist in Lin Chen, it is the first time Tedesco has seen such a wonderful shot from Lin Chen. Makoto Hospi stood motionless with his hips akimbo, watching the Schalke players who were celebrating and let out a helpless sigh. Before the game, this game was branded as an Asian derby gimmick, and he was a violent player. There are also many people in their own country who are paying attention to this game. But at this time, Hospi Makoto has completely become Lin Chen's background this time, which is undoubtedly a humiliation to his domestic fans. A minute later, the game started again. After losing the ball, Frankfurt did not rush to counterattack, and still shrank in the half-court and placed the bus. This kind of performance made Frankfurt fans a little unacceptable. It's okay for Lin Chen to set the bus before scoring a goal. After all, it's pretty good to hold a draw in front of Lin Chen. Advertisement. But now the team has fallen behind and has to set up the bus, and now it is at their own home court. This tactic is too weak. The fans in Frankfurt didn't even have the confidence to cheer against the fans of the mining factory. So the fans spilled their anger on the team coach Su Tier. Attack! Do you want to end the game at 0-1? Cowards! A manager like you is not welcome at the park. On the sidelines, Suter also looked ugly when he heard the roar of the fans. I don't want to have a real attack with Schalke 04, but can I really do it? If I really choose the tactics of confrontation, Lin Chen may not only score one goal now up. This will only make Lin Chen score faster. More. The game continued until the halftime whistle sounded, and neither side scored again. Knowing the ball online, when the halftime report of the game came out, many Huiguo fans ridiculed. A rare sight. Lin Chen only scored one goal in the half. From another point of view, is Frankfurt's defense better than Bayern and more time zones? Bayern, offended. It's so boring. Frankfurt has been shrunk to the penalty area line, and has no desire to attack at all. If it weren't for Lin Chen's upside-down golden hook, I might be falling asleep now. Just when everyone was complaining that the game was too boring, a fan's speech immediately made everyone laugh. I just woke up, what happened? Lin Chen only scored one goal. Perhaps everyone has defaulted to Lin Chen's halftime guaranteed hat-trick performance. Some fans who didn't have time to watch the game were a little surprised when they saw that Lin Chen only scored one goal in the half. At the same time, Lin Chen's upside-down golden hook shot was also made into a moving picture by Huiguo fans and spread wildly on the internet. The entry of Lin Chen hanging upside down with a golden hook quickly became a hot search on the blog post platform. With such a wonderful shooting action, even many Hyuxia people who don't watch the ball can see the difficulty of the ball. Perhaps because of the impression given by Huiguo football, some people are actually asking if this is from Huiguo. After learning the answer, Chi Chi exclaimed that this is impossible. Park Stadium, after a short break, the second half began. Perhaps because he felt that the advantage of a one-goal lead was not great, Tedesco did not directly replace Lin Chen. In fact, Tedesco was also a little tangled in his heart. It would undoubtedly be unfair to Lin Chen if he was replaced every time after halftime. And if your team has such a scoring machine and doesn't use it, it's a waste. But if Lin Chen is allowed to play the whole game, the team will almost be dependent on Lin Chen. It would be fine if Lin Chen stayed at Schalke, but Lin Chen will return to Real Madrid in the winter window. There is only more than a month away from now, what should the team do by then? When Tedesco thought of this problem, his mind went numb, and he didn't know how to solve this somewhat happy distress. On the field, Austrian coach Schutter seemed to be woken up by the fans. As soon as the game started, let the team push the formation forward and try to see if they can score a goal. But he was quickly beaten back by Schalke 04. The midfield composed of McKennie and Rudy made it difficult for Frankfurt players to transition the ball to the front court. Not only that, the forward pressure of Frankfurt's formation also left some gaps in the backcourt. Lin Chen also discovered this opportunity and made a sure pass without any intention. Seeing Lin Chen's signal, McKennie gave the ball to Lin Chen with a short pass. After conceding the ball in the first half, Makoto Hospi played 12 points to defend Lin Chen. After seeing Lin Chen taking the ball, he directly stuck his entire body on it, completely blocking Lin Chen's turning route. Seeing this, Lin Chen did not choose to brute force Makoto Hospi away, although Lin Chen was fully capable of doing it. Then Lin Chen passed the ball to Marcotte on the wing, and he could retreat forward. The latter took the ball and took 2 steps forward. After finding that the forward route was blocked by the Frankfurt fullback, he stopped advancing. Mark at first feinted a shot, pretending to continue dribbling the ball, and then turned around and kicked the ball into the penalty area after avoiding the angle. At this time, Lin Chen is already in the restricted area. It turned out that after Lin Chen passed the ball just now, he first recovered the station to get rid of Makoto Hospi's defense. When everyone's attention was on Makwut, Lin Chen rushed into the penalty area suddenly. It was too late for Makoto Hospi to turn around and defend Lin Chen. After Lin Chen received the ball, facing the goalkeeper who was attacking towards the ball, he flicked the ball directly. The ball slowly passed goalkeeper trap, and then rolled into the goal. 0-2. Lin Chen scored another goal and scored twice. Advertisement. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.